keep an eye on chat and let me know if anything seems odd to them, please. Well, yeah, other than that, the whole show. They can't hear you talking, they can only hear me talking.
Space, the boundary of human achievement, the new frontier.
It's just a cough.
Yeah, right. And the Earth is flat.
In a few moments, you will have an experience which will seem completely real. It can be extremely harmful and result in severe trauma. You have 5 seconds to terminate this tape. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Flat Earth expert Mark Sargent thinks the moon landing was a hoax.
Technically, the moon itself is a hoax.
Right, but betting with Sportsbet's new iPhone app?
I could do this standing on my head.
Thanks, Gravity. Sportsbet's new iPhone app. It's
Hold on,
foolproof.
I know how we're different. Do you believe the Earth is flat?
I know it's flat. I walk on it. Holy sh**.
Do you think the Earth is flat, Snoop? What do you think?
It's a flat world after all.
Smoke weed every day.
I need new friends.
It's definitely the triple digits, but I don't know exactly. It's a ridiculous number. Find that out for me before we
You guys are killing me. Guys, we're starting. Oh. Broadcasting straight to you from a large spaceship currently at war with mainstream science. Meanwhile, the Peanut Gallery is taking another well-deserved night off to fight evil. Come back soon, Peanut. Welcome to Strange World, where the truth is often stranger than fiction. I'm your host, Mark Sargent, the creator of Flat Earth Clues, which propose that all of us are living inside a Truman Show enclosed structure thousands of miles wide. Just Google Flat Earth Mark. If you can't find it, well, you're just not very good at the internet. Currently, this show is on Tuesday nights at 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern, and yes, Carolina, it is not September 24th, 2024. You are listening to a rerun. Don't forget the show can be found on BitChute and Brighteon, Rockfin, and Rumble. YouTube is not the end of Flat Earth. It is only the beginning. And what is David White saying in our chat? What, are you on drugs? What are you saying that for? He's still in there from last week, so he's in our private chat. He's talking to us. That's not good. Hey, chat room. Look at chat room. Does chat room say everything's good? I want to make sure all the audio visual is good. Oh, right. A dream inside a dream. Yeah, David White just sitting on the couch, watching a video of him sitting on the couch, filming Paige, who's probably also sleeping on the couch. Good point. Yeah, good point.
The chat room is not saying anything like we're roboting or echoing.
Good.
I think we're okay.
Good. As long as again, I'm running the control board. I'm at the helm of this ship. Want to make sure everything's fine. Quote of the day goes exactly like this simple thing. There is no such thing as bad press as long as they spell your name right. Yep, I agree with that. Who said that? P.T. Barnum from Barnum and Bailey Circus. My co-hosts in the upper left, the perfect Patricia Steere, and in the upper right, the delightful DJ Curious. Hi guys, how are you?
What's up?
Fantastic.
Another Tuesday.
How are you? Happy Tuesday.
Yeah, happy Tuesday.
Hello, chat. Hi, strange world.
Yep. Everything's good on. You guys have your perfect backgrounds. I am compensating with lasers and fire again this week. Just so you guys know, I did look into smoke machines, however, or fog machines.
Ooh.
Little problem there. One, they generate a scent, which it's not easy to get out of carpet, which is right below me. Two, they set off smoke alarms. They're meant for gymnasiums. They're meant for parties. They're meant for Halloween events. I don't think they're meant for living rooms, just so you know. So,
But I saw David Weiss speak of the devil. Well, he's not really the devil. He's a minion of the devil. But anyway, speaking of him, he did a video recently in which there was what looked like a fog machine in the room where he was.
Did David actually?
Somebody
link me if David was actually using a fog machine. Why would he be using a
was
fog
it
machine?
like CGI fog?
Oh, was that when he was doing his kitchen experiments?
No, he was actually just regularly speaking about flat Earth, kind of talking about the whole thing.
And he had a fog machine going.
Regular video, and there was also smoke.
All right.
And the person he was speaking with, I wish I could remember who. It's almost like a vague memory. It's almost like a dream within a dream. I think that the person that was speaking with him, a guy, I remember it was a guy. Why didn't the person just say, "Hey, what's all that smoke?" The person didn't ask.
I'm thinking of free suspending a disco ball behind the couch. Like
Mark, you're really trying to keep up.
I am. I'm trying to dazzle people to the point where they're so distracted by my visuals they don't even know I'm there. It's like, is there somebody inside all that, that rave party that's happening?
I got my fire right here.
Oh, very nice, DJ.
That's like older women, the kind of women that kind of look like, well, I know Nancy Reagan's dead, but everybody can picture Nancy Reagan. Or women like that when they get older, the society women, how they would dazzle everybody when they were in their 60s and 70s wearing huge pieces of very, very real sparkly jewelry that was incredibly expensive.
Right.
Dazzling people so that they wouldn't look at either A, bad plastic surgery, or like B, faces that look like a baseball mitt that's been well used.
My grandfather's second wife was like that. She had a big jewel, lots of gold. All, lots of rings, lots of necklaces. Anyway,
just lots of brooches, brooch.
Oh yeah, it shined. And again, you could tell it was the real stuff. Hey, sometimes because you guys are just awful people, it's hard to find flat earth friends, but there is an easy way to find cool people like yourself and solid info about our stationary horizontal level plane. The solution...
Pay them.
The what?
I said pay them.
Exactly. The solution is simple. It's the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. Watch the featured video every day for 2 weeks and see what happens. It'll be the best $2.99 you've ever spent. Oh, so sleepy. And because it's 10 p.m. on the East Coast, it's time to say goodnight to one of our listeners, Paige. She's just put on her Porky Pig pajamas, got a cup of cocoa with exactly 6 tiny marshmallows, and will probably listen to the playback in the morning. Good night, Paige.
Good night, Paige.
Good night.
Shoutouts, obviously, to Flat Earthers, Stefan Garbiner of the Deftones. Support the Flat Earth cause. Get the coolest hoodies ever. Go to the Strong.family, won't you, and pick up some merch. Also, shout out to Zulu One, longtime listener of the show, for doing a simulcast stream on his channel called...
Hey, Zulu, shout out.
Called Zulu One. And I am sorry that, last week I was supposed to show this thing off because I only show off Flat Earth merchandise that gets mailed to me. And this one, it came in a frame. And I stuck it underneath my desk, and I got so distracted by things like my room coming on fire. This is an Orlando Ferguson framed stationary Earth, the roulette table version from the 1830s.
That's nice.
Yeah, I actually saw the original print that is up in South Dakota. So thank you, Christian. Big fan of the show.
Oh, man, I love that.
Yeah, for sending that to me. I'm going to have to figure out where to put it. So
right behind your chair, like behind the hand that was holding the microphone, there's an empty space there. Is that a door or a window?
Right over here?
On the other side. Yeah.
No,
what's that?
That's curtains. That's a window.
Okay.
That's a window. That's why I'm kind of moved over here.
What? Oh yeah, makes sense.
I'm kind of moved over. Yeah, moved over here.
Yeah, there's really no place to put it because your chair's got such a high back.
Yeah, sorry. I could put it on the couch, but yeah, I don't know, it'd be kind of
Yeah,
distracting.
that'd be weird.
Yeah.
I really love that picture though, especially because it shows the angels, which are in the Bible. It says the four corners. You know,
Right.
There's an angel on each corner.
Very biblical. So, but as you guys know, that I was not. People said you really should stay away from that map, and I go, why? I go because it's shaped like a roulette table, and they go, yeah, because a roulette table, all the numbers on a roulette table add up to 666.
666.
Yeah, and I go, really? It's actually true.
I remember
roulette
when
table
you
numbers.
got a lot of, you caught a lot of slack or caught a lot of stick. I'm not sure which is the appropriate expression for that way back in 2015
I
or
did.
so. Yeah,
absolutely
and
did.
people were just taking any opportunity. Hey,
Yeah.
wait, back then that's what people did. Any opportunity to label
Yeah, from our
somebody.
community too. Critics.
Yeah, it was always a flat. Now we get a lot of people, making fun of us, and those are the anti-flat earthers.
Right.
But before it used to be our own community. Now our own communities, like somehow, I've said it before, the insider trolls either died or they disappeared, or they decided to become friendly. So
Right.
I think it's great.
That's good news. That's good news.
We still have a few meetups before the holidays, before the election, before Halloween, actually. First one, David Weiss is going to be in Mexico, October 1st, at the La Serena restaurant in Puerto Morelos.
Hey.
So grab your flip-flops and your best Hawaiian-looking shirt, even though it's not Hawaii, and head on down there if you want. Also, Flattoberfest in Spartanburg, South Carolina. That's September 27th through the 29th. I believe DJ is going to be representing us down there.
I will be representing Strange World.
Yay.
That's right. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody.
Awesome. So check out flatearthfestivals.com for more info. There is a meetup October 12th in Kansas. And I got a special request from one of our longtime listeners, Rob. He's putting this out there way in advance. He goes, because it won't be until next May, but he asked me to ask. He goes, I'm planning to walk Offa's Dyke. That's Offas Dyke. I believe that's in the UK. It's over approximately 13 days. He's looking for people to join him. He goes, just putting it out there, if anyone is interested or mad enough to join, you can email him at littletedwalks@protonmail.com. That's littletedwalks@protonmail.com.
What's the walk for?
I think just
aside from exercise and seeing the scenery.
I think that's basically it. I don't think there's any real activism because no one's going to be on there but you guys. So it's a perfect chance to, murder somebody, I suppose.
Or it's like a flat earth classified. I like to take long walks on the beach.
There you go. Maybe he's looking for love. I don't know. But Rob, I'm putting that out there for you. I'm not going to announce this every week, though, until next May.
Well, maybe next week we'll get an update from him because he could probably email you and tell you what he's walking for.
Yeah, there you go.
Exercise, fun, murder.
There you go.
I don't know.
Wait, I wish there were flat earth classifieds and Mark could read them off like the top, the newest ones of the week.
We can make fake ones and do it. That would be fun.
Like
a special section. There used to be Lucky Unlucky, and this will be, I don't know, kind of a Craigslist sort of on the seedy side.
And a segment, you need your own segment too. You could be like the flat earth Dr. Laura, or who was the other one that was you would ask her for advice?
Miss Manners. There's Miss Manners, Dr. Laura, and Dear Abby. I can be all
Dear Abby.
one.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Nice.
I'll steer you the wrong way.
Steer you the wrong way. I see what you did there.
I will do that.
Let's run real fast. I want to run the fast Earth clue of the week, which this one's called More Scientism. It's a little bit lighter than the original Scientism because it focuses on what they don't believe in. So 60 seconds, it'll change your life. Here we go. Yep. So my flat earth friends messaging me saying, Mark, you still got beef with science? I say, I've got serious beef. Scientism believes in things they can never prove, like the Big Bang, dark matter, and gravity, but at the same time, they refuse to believe in the simple creations like rare animals unless they are sitting on their lab table. Look at the giant panda, giant anaconda, and giant squid. What, are you allergic to the word giant? Unicorn whales, check. Unicorn horses, no. You were dead wrong, see what I did there about that not extinct fish, but you still laugh at the Loch Ness Monster? Let's face it, if the platypus was extra rare, you would think it was a joke. And hey, I'm with you, but don't forget that God makes likes weird shit. Oh, right, you don't believe in God either. I believe in the giant cobra. I believe in the Bigfoot and all its cousins. Shout out Karen B, so look into the Billy Ape. I think that aliens are just older versions of us, and of course I believe in flat frickin' Earth. For the record, vampires and werewolves can't work because of the virus aspect, and zombies are only possible with magic. And just for fun, remember that giant cow in the beginning? Yeah, that's totally real, so put that in your lab pipe and smoke it. This is a world of mystery and wonder if you would just open your mind and take a look. Do your own research and explore what's possible. Whatever. I'm done. All right, there you go.
I love it.
Yeah, had some fun with that one, and I'm seriously considering about trying to figure out if the platypus would be a good flat Earth mascot, because the more I focused on when I do interviews, I talk about the coelacanth fish, and how they screwed up the carbon dating and how they were absolutely wrong with it because it wasn't extinct for 70 million years. They're swimming all over Africa right now, but the platypus screwed up the narrative for a lot of scientists, because if you guys don't know what a platypus is, please look it up. It's down in Australia. It is the most unusual animal in the kingdom, which is it's got a duck bill, otter feet, beaver tail, lays eggs, has fur, and has a venomous claw on its rear feet. And
sounds like completely made up, actually.
Exactly.
But it's not.
To the point. And the reason why I'd say it'd be a nice mascot is that when scientists...
The bill is flat. The beak bill thing is flat.
Well, yes.
Yeah, that could work.
But
and it's made up of all sorts of different kinds of animals from the animal kingdom, just like the flat earthers are. All sorts of different kinds of people.
There you go.
There you go. And God makes weird shit, like you say in the video.
God
I like
makes
that
weird
line.
shit. And well, I'm stealing a little bit from Robin Williams from his 1986 stand-up, I think, Robin Williams live at the Met, where he was talking about God versus evolution. And he was, from God's perspective, he's going, he's like God's cracking up going, the platypus, right? Because the platypus makes no freaking sense. But moreover, when scientists got it on their lab table, alive, like walking around, right? They still refuse to believe it. It's sitting right there in front of you. It's like, no, this thing had to have been stitched together by some madman, a scientist. It's like, okay, he put a bill on like a beaver or something, and like attached. Like, no, that's how it is. It wasn't until they had multiple ones walking around. It's like, go.
Yeah, no, that could be cool. The platypus doesn't get enough love, I think, out there. So it could be a fun cartoon, and it is crazy and weird, but looking into evolution is actually one of the stepping stones that led me to flat Earth. So I kind of think that it does kind of, make people question, like, is evolution real? Because how did everything change? Why is that still the same as it's been for so long? And, it's because things don't change. And actually everything is made according to its kind, like it says in scripture. And the more that I learned about that, the more that I see God's signature everywhere. So it was cool when you put that in there. I thought it was great.
That's beautifully said. And I'm going to say something that's not that beautiful, but it is really realistic. You know how you meet people, get involved in a relationship with a guy or a girl or whatever, and there's problems with their personality and yours meshing, and you kind of wish they would change.
Sure.
We all know you can't change people, and people won't change.
Right.
And if we can't even change an individual person, how would evolution ever happen over billions of years?
Yeah.
I mean...
Well, and in nature, there's so many examples where things can change in one lifetime, like a tadpole into a frog. It doesn't take billions of years to make that kind of metamorphosis. Right. And so, I loved learning about the creation side of things as leading to my flat Earth journey, like I said. And so, the platypus could be a really fun. I think you're onto something.
If we do have to have, or if we are going to have a mascot, I think the platypus is pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean they're relatively cute. They're weird, but they're not ugly, in my opinion.
Can you pet them, or no? They'll claw you.
That's
with the
a
venomous
good question.
claw.
I don't think you can pet the males. You're not supposed to pet the males because the venom is pretty.
That's what my mother always told me.
Well, and again, why would something like an otter / beaver / duck have snake venom? Why would this thing have that? But my point was, and I'm trying to throw this more at the trolls and sometimes people in our community, which is, don't feel bad if you run into hardcore scientists that don't believe you, because Again, remember, the platypus is a great example. It's right there in front of them, and they still wouldn't believe it. So when you're showing them flat Earth stuff, and you've seen them, people short circuit all the time. It's like, oh no, look at this flat Earth proof, and then all of a sudden they just glitch out, and they're like, yeah, what about this? And it's like, well, you're not gonna address that anymore. Nope, I'm not. I'm gonna address this because this will make me feel better, or this will make me feel
so true. Oh, I've been dealing with that lately.
Yeah. So.
What about Flatty the platypus? As a name.
Hey,
that's not.
It's a work in progress, but it's close.
That's not terrible.
That's
Flatty the platy.
Flatty the platy.
You need like 3 dots.
All right, chat room.
Flatty. That's good.
Come up with a way to make the platypus a flat Earth mascot. I think it'd be awesome.
We need an artist, and I'm sure we have many here.
Life Matrix. If you're listening, platypus. What can you do with it?
Oh, that'd be
Flatty,
so cool.
The platy ... puss. or yeah.
Don't be a puss. Look into flat Earth.
Right. Or we'll give you the left claw. Is it the right or left arm that's got the poison?
Oh, I think it's the rear ones, but I don't know. I have to look it up. I don't know if it's just one foot, which would make it even weirder. Why wouldn't you have a poison on both rear feet? But why the rear feet?
Or on all 4 feet?
Yeah.
Well, I have those Scientism videos actually got flagged on TikTok.
Why?
And Instagram, because it was saying it's going against community guidelines, and I think it just says because you're talking about Scientism, which is just it's a buzzword right now.
Really?
In not just the flat Earth world, but in the globe world, because they're hearing more and more about you know what and the jabberoo. So
yeah, but I didn't. But I didn't mention the. Well, I didn't mention anything about the shots in the second one. Did the first one?
I know, but I think just kind of talking about Scientism and doubting science is getting flagged. That's what it looked like to me, because some of the other ones have thousands of views, and this one got like 50. And it told me, it put a little banner like, this is not going to be put in anyone's live feed because of the content. I was like, okay, weird.
Wow. Oh, weird. Maybe wow.
I thought it was.
I know.
I thought it was pretty light. I haven't gotten any YouTube things along those lines. Well, interesting.
But don't you? Yeah, but on the globe side right now, those people are questioning the science too, because a lot of people who haven't looked into flat Earth yet, they know that something's up, and they see that there's so much deception and misinformation, but they don't think that it goes all the way to this freaking point, which again, I could be wrong. Maybe the Earth isn't flat, even though I fully believe it. It's just like we're not choosing to disassociate from society because things have gotten so terrible.
Right.
It's a stepping stone getting to this point.
I think it's ironic that the first one had 2 slides dedicated to the shots in the arm, and yet the second one didn't touch it at all. In fact, the first one was talking about all the times science got wrong, with smoking and asbestos and all that stuff. This one was so lighthearted by comparison. This one is like, look at all the animals you screw.
I know it was good, and you had the unicorn. Remember, shout out to the unicorn.
I had a unicorn in it, for God's sakes.
Maybe it's an evolution aspect. They don't want people to stray from that.
It could
but
be.
I didn't even mention the word evolution, nor did I do a slide. Yeah. But to DJ's point. I mean, I did have the word scientism, and I did say the word scientism, but oh man, I am really curious now to see what did it.
Yeah, and when I did the hashtags, I've been trying to figure out how to not get shadow banned. So hey, chat, if you have any tips on how to not get shadow banned and you want to help me out, send a little message, because I'm trying to dance around the algorithm but still get these videos to get views. But hey, just so an update on TikTok, since you started doing the clues, we have over 22,000 views and like hundreds and hundreds of hours worth of content, just these little clips. So you're doing an amazing job, Mark. And the TikTok has grown to over 600 followers, which honestly, guys, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just posting Mark stuff, but it seems to be working. So
cool.
That is great.
I'm glad. And next week's will be, I want to talk about the shadow banning thing for 1 second, but next week's will be spacesuit.
Ooh,
so I'm going to be talking specifically about spacesuits. That shouldn't get me flagged at all, hopefully. And
what about the zipper in the spacesuit in the crotch area? How does the zipper work when it comes to being in outer space?
Oh, you mean like what do you like? What? How effective is the zipper, or are you actually using it?
It's a metal zipper.
Yeah, with certain layers. It's part of the argument that I'm going to put out there. It's like zippers are
not. It doesn't make sense.
Zippers aren't airtight, but not that it matters, because the suit still doesn't make. Again, I dedicated.
Well, none of it makes sense.
I did a special video called "For Want of a Nail" on it, which said if the spacesuit is screwed up, if the spacesuit doesn't make sense, then nothing around the spacesuit makes sense. and it is a huge linchpin for me as far as plot points go. And
Very true.
We will, but I'll see. Anyway,
what about the new spacesuit that they wore during that stupid spacewalk?
Oh,
and they were supposedly...
the one that we didn't show, where DJ noticed right off the bat that they looked like they were rigid, absolutely, like they were.
And the guy was like moving his arm like in some weird way.
And that is a G-force suit, by the way, which is a G-force suit is a suit that is tethered with a pressurized line back to the ship. And it went.
Okay, so what is it really, though?
What, a G-force suit?
It's just something like Eva Knievel would wear to jump the canyon or whatever. It looked very thin.
G-force suits are the suits that pilots wear to make their body as rigid as possible to compress your blood so you don't get whiteouts or redouts when you're climbing or descending really, really fast. But they shouldn't have anything to do with astronauts. That's what pilots. In fact, it's the opposite. A G-force suit, it limits your mobility. I mean, you're practically frozen in the suit. You have enough momentum to like work a stick and work some of the controls of a fighter plane. But as far as spacewalk goes, it's useless. It's absolutely useless.
It would only be useful for them. I mean, of course, none of it ever really happens, but let's pretend now.
Right.
When they are taking off in the rocket, and then the G-force situation is happening.
Sure.
Then it would maybe be useful.
Sure. But
is there any even footage of them going through the G-force? I mean,
no. Nobody talks about the G-force. Good point, DJ. Which is when that rocket is taking off, these guys should be absolutely pinned to the wall. That's why they did all this G-force spinning test. God, what was the name of that damn thing? The machine you put you on and it spins you around in a circle, and then your face starts falling off. Yeah, that's what that whole thing was about. And yet, when they got in the actual rocket, it's like, wow, you'd think they'd suffer the same effects. No, we're not even going to.
And what about William Shatner? Didn't he go up on, was it Blue Origin?
At 90?
Right?
At 90? How could he deal with that?
Yeah, his bones, his body, his lungs, I don't know.
Yeah,
don't you really have to train for it? There's no footage of them even training for this, right? So as I try to, expose this information to Globe friends of mine, which almost nobody will look into it. That's okay. There is a few, and they get to a point, and then all of a sudden it just becomes like they just think everything that the flat side is providing are lies. So they just shut down because they immediately just start Googling and oh no, that's been debunked, and they get pushed over the debunkers. But the space stuff, because it happens in real time, and the people that do know that I'm looking into this or have come to this flat side, they even notice now how fake the space footage looks, and they just kind of shrug it off. But I know it's planting seeds, because if you're paying attention to that, it's so important that we bring it up. And I'm assuming they're in the headlines this week because Sunita is still in space, stuck up there.
Sunita's not in there this week just because she's not even scheduled to come home till after Christmas now.
Well, we got to give her a shout out. She still gets headlines. Poor Sunita.
Yeah.
Yeah. The astronauts that went up there for a weekend that are just going to stay up there for the holidays. It's like, okay, sure. Again, what resources are you using up there? Are you no problem? Apparently, it's a sleepover. Where you're crashing with relatives. It's like, oh, stay for a couple months. This isn't like hanging out with relatives in the Hamptons. This is like you're just gonna say, oh, we're just gonna crash on your couch for the next 3 months. It's like, what?
Right.
Oh, yeah, but NASA's gonna show up. She's gonna have a fully baked turkey with the little white caps on the ends, and it's just gonna be floating in space, and they're enjoying biscuits and gravy.
Yes, absolutely.
And those weird shaped. Remember those cups that Dave showed us? Those like space cups that they drink out of that look very,
very vaginal.
Dave finds all the dirty material. I don't know how he does it. He's freaking drawn to it. He's a deviant. Let's just face it.
Speaking of Dave, shouldn't we give him a salute for the fantastic interview he did?
Yes.
That was so good.
Dave on Jim.
Currently, the Brewer on the Brunerverse channel, the interview he did with Jim Brewer has got 84,000 views.
Right.
And that's on his channel, which is more important maybe than on Dave's channel, because this is going to people who are they're not normies. I mean, there's some pretty awake people in Jim Brewer's audience, but a lot of them don't know about flat Earth. So
not that it's a competition. I mean, my interview on Brunerverse got 55,000, which is fine. And,
that's still higher than a lot of the other ones, Mark.
Oh, yeah. I was looking through his catalog, as a matter of fact, because I was curious to see what the next biggest one was. And other than Truthverse, I can't remember what that guy's name was, where it was basically Jim. He was bearing some of his soul in that one. But the next one down was me, which was, there was a lot of other ones, which means he's going to get back on, which is wonderful. But the good news, bad news about that was, so it happened, he released it just before the weekend. And when you searched Flat Earth, it was number one, right? It was number one on Flat Earth, and it was there. And I gave Dave a little bit of a hard time. I was going, hey, it's pretty great. I go, but you got to remember, the weekend's coming up. The agency doesn't pay overtime, so no one's checking your stuff. I go, Monday they'll pick back up on it. And then Monday he was still number one, and then this morning, no, he was knocked completely off the charts. So we shadow banned this morning to Into the Depths, which was kind of what I expected. Which was, it's like, all right, why is this thing still not? Somebody manually went in, says no, we can't have this, because Dave's theory was that they were, because it was a comedian talking about Flat Earth, it wasn't going to be serious. And then when he watched it, it's like, oh yeah. Yeah, this was, Jim couldn't have been sung more praises about Dave. It was very complimentary, and I couldn't have been happier for him.
Right, and there's a promise for Dave to come back on, because the two guests that Jim had on are going to review some of the material that Dave provided, hopefully, watch things on the app, and do their own research, and hopefully they will do it diligently and will stop watching stupid Flat Earth debunkers like not a Professor Dave, and come back to the right conclusion and join us with what is it, Flatty the Platypus as our mascot.
Are we married to that? Is that where we're going with that so far?
It's not. Let's not name it that.
It's not terrible. But I don't know.
It's terrible. No. But it's funny to say, though.
Hey, a Flat Earth mascot's kind of cute, so we'll grow to love it, whatever it ends up being.
You could also
remember IPS had a penguin.
He did.
Antarctica. That's a really good one. He still has it.
Those are my favorite animal besides the unicorn.
And he based it off the do you call it Fepe? Yeah, Fepe, which was a variation of Pepe, which was the frog, and I can't remember what the frog was part of. It was part of some counterculture thing from a few years ago. Anyway, we'll see. Who knows? Flat the Plat may work. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, are we going to talk about Dave's Jim Brewers thing, or do we want to come back to that? And
let's keep going down the because Dave is probably going to fall asleep here in a second anyway.
Dave, no, you did awesome. And I just loved how Jim had brought on his two friends. And I took a screenshot because by the end of it, when Dave does his closing and he seals up everything with a beautiful bow, they're just like,
yep.
They're both frozen.
Yeah.
If you go back and watch, because they just don't know what to say. They're like, could this be? Like, how could this be? It's really, it's watching this like mind blown moment, because obviously they respect their friend Jim.
Yeah.
And they probably have kind of heard about it's growing. So it's like more than ever, people could come to terms with this being real. Not everybody, but a lot of people once you see it, you kind of can't unsee it. It's crazy.
Right. Yeah, he did a wonderful job. And I am super happy for him, and I can't wait to see if because Jim's producers are really cool, and I hope they get him back on and to do a follow-up. Cross my fingers. But to your point, DJ, I really hope he brings on more of those people. It's like, look, what's resonating, right? It's not an accident. If I'm scoring over 50K and Dave's hitting 80K and some of your others are sub 10, what are you doing?
Yeah, right? Put more Flat Earth on.
Yeah, it's like you kind of gonna pick it up
immediately.
That's what people want. Yeah, they give the people what they want.
The trolls. Come on, that's why they created. They dedicated channels against us. It's like, oh yeah, I'm getting solid views. I'm getting a verified channel. I'm getting monetized. I'm getting sponsors. By the way, I see it.
Is that crazy for you two to kind of experience? Because it's been the opposite for so long. Are you feeling like this is exciting?
It's exciting, but at the same time, I know that they're messing with me. I mean, come on. I am stuck. I've been stuck at 105K now subs for 2 years. Statistically speaking, and it says positive every freaking week. It says, oh yeah, positive, but then the number's not going up. It's like, so you're just gonna cap me. You're on top of messaging me and saying, oh yeah, by the way, we're never going to monetize you, and you're never going to get your official plaque from us. You're going to have to get it, which doesn't matter. I've got 2 from show listeners that were handmade for me.
Oh,
I know that was awfully nice. But
yeah, but see, once this really takes off, Mark, you know what's going to happen, right? Like, let's just fantasize for a second. Since this is true, and when everyone figures it out, and let's say they don't shut the internet down, and more people start looking into it, and they start crashing the internet with it,
right.
Guess who's all the people that thought they knew what they were talking about for so long in all these other fields, they're going to be turning to you guys and the people who have really put the time in to understand how this place works, because it involves everyone. It's literally the beautiful centerpiece, God's personal clock below his feet looking down from heaven. I mean, that could be real, guys. So there's nothing more mind-blowing than knowing you're at the center of creation.
There you go.
And so people are going to want to know, and you guys are going to be very popular.
I'm hoping, and again, I'm still hoping that one day, because the first short that I did was the plea to Joe Rogan, or Joe Rogan's producer, is like, look, guys, get me on the freaking show. He can't just take a shot at me live on stage and then just walk away and be like, oh, let's...
Well, especially now that Joe Rogan has flip-flopped on the moon landing. Flip-flop-flipped.
Let's segue into that. Joe Rogan, which is why the quote of the day was what it was, which was, as long as they spell your name right, it's good press, which is a variation of, even if they're talking about flat earth adjacent topics, I'll take it. So Joe Rogan was talking to, if you guys notice the thumbnail there, there's a cat sighting. There was a couple cats. There's two cats.
2 out of 3.
Joe Rogan was talking to Matt Walsh recently. You guys let me know about that. And I watched the whole thing, and it was tough to listen to because Matt Walsh, look, I respect some of his work. He's done some good stuff, but for being a Red Team member, he is so stubborn. His heels are so dug in, and he believes almost everything that the government tells him.
Well, right now.
Right. And
the worst part is when he said he wouldn't believe that the moon landings were fake unless Elon Musk told him.
Oh.
That was the worst, and I thought of you, Mark. Yeah. I'm like, Mark's going, right now.
Elon, again, Elon, one of the worst written characters in the modern era, and I call him a written character because, look, I write, and I would never write a guy like that. It's like, the richest man in the world, even though you can't explain how he got to be the richest man in the world, and combination, he's also the smartest man in the world, which has been said.
Although you never see that in anything he ever writes or says.
No, and I've heard this from Red Team members now for several years, and it's driving me insane. Family members, it's like, no, he's the smartest. I mean, in fact, when Fox News, when one of their commentators on live, without even saying, and he's arguably one of the smartest men in the world, it's like, what? What are you talking about? Find me someone with a PhD. Not that I respect PhDs that much, but find me someone with a PhD that's willing to vouch for him. Somebody in astrophysics, somebody in astronomy, somebody in engineering, anyone along those lines. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Matt Walsh is on Joe Rogan's show, and thank God he was on Joe Rogan, whether vice versa, because he had to, when you're on somebody's show, and Joe Rogan's a very, very big podcast, you have to give Joe some slack, and he let Joe,
right.
Again, it was really interesting. One of my favorite comments from that interview was, Matt, hey, I want to talk about my new movie. Joe, no, I want to talk about the moon landing. and Joe went off on a freaking rant. What was it, 45 minutes, an hour, something like that?
But actually, Matt Walsh is the one that brings it up. You believe in the moon landing, right? And Joe Rogan, I mean, Joe Rogan wasn't even asking for it, but since Matt went there, which Matt fell right into a trap. He obviously isn't watching Joe Rogan. I've been watching Rogan forever. He is seeking truth. He just hasn't gotten as far as he needs to get yet.
Right.
But he's getting there by flip-flopping back on the moon landing and then forcing Matt Walsh to listen to all these anomalies about the moon landing that Joe just had ready to go. It's sucking. It's in his conscience. What's it called? Where it's just sunk in his brain. Like he knows what to look for with how the moon landing could be faked. And Matt Walsh has just had to respect Joe Rogan, most high podcast guy, who now gets mad respected because everyone wants to be on his show. This is all kind of crazy how it unfolds.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it was really fun to watch. Joe would not back off. He just kept tapping the gas and hitting him with all, again, the logic was, isn't that weird, right? That's weird. It's weird. You know, everything he said, it's like, that's really strange, right? That all these things would be happening, right? Not that he would say that he goes, I'm not saying I'm absolutely 100%. I'm saying there's a lot of weird things happening about the moon. And my favorite point that he brought up was JFK, where he's like, now even you know, thank God, I was really surprised that Matt jumped on that one, where he goes, he would say, you know, he asked Matt, he goes, so you think, you know, the whole JFK thing was weird, right? There's like, you know, all these years later, it's like, you know, not a lone gunman who then in turn was killed by a lone gunman. You think that's a little suspicious. Yeah. He goes, I think it's a bit suspicious. And Joe just stops. He goes, see, like that. He's going, it's that suspicious. And the line, and I knew where Matt's head was, because he used a line that was straight out of Neil Tyson. It was one of the only people I knew that quoted that line almost verbatim from Neil Tyson, where he goes, it would be cheaper to do it for real than to fake it. And it's like,
that doesn't even make sense, by the way.
You don't know Hollywood.
People say that. It's so weird.
And people have said it to me as well. Yeah. And I'm like, what? It doesn't even make any sense.
Does not make sense. Hollywood fakes it for cheap, pennies on the dollar, all day long for decades and decades and decades. Don't tell me that the real thing is cheaper than faking it. What you're saying is the real thing is cheaper from all the people you would have to have in on it. That's one of the old arguments, which is everyone would have to be in on all these scientists and all these pilots and all these, like, no, they wouldn't. Very, very few would have to know about it. You know, for sure. I mean, sure, there'd be a lot of people suspicious about it, but why would you brief all those people? It's like, it's not that, it's a giant conspiracy with very few people at the top, very few people that know what's going on. So really,
right. Even the astronauts could be drugged and put in a simulator and told them when they pop out, oh, you just went to space, oh my God, welcome back. You know, they're like,
you could,
oh my God, like look at Don Pettit. I mean, getting just really quick back to the astronauts. One thing that I have been pointing out too, these people just don't look athletic. So, you know,
no, they don't.
Rogan, they don't look like they're withstanding these G-forces. They kind of look like people who have something could be off or who knows. And so, you know, Joe Rogan, he's seeing these cracks too in the narrative. And what I thought was interesting is he goes, and you know, we can't get past the Van Allen radiation belt. They tried to blow it up. And then he has Jamie Google, you know, Operation blah, 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 Operation Dominic. And then right under it says Operation Fishbowl, which is like a huge, you know, flat earth talking point of like, no, they tried to blow up the firmament. Hello, Joe.
Yeah. Yeah, the fact, that was a great point, by the way, which was, I know full well Joe has listened to some of my stuff. I know it because he's used some of my stuff. The shooting the nukes into the firmament, you know, I don't care if you don't believe in the nuke technology or not. They were still firing rockets up there. And the fact that he would bring that up, nobody brings that up. And you know what the other thing he brought up, which I was really surprised, and again, I am taking total credit for this, is Space 1999. I have brought up that show again and again. Joe and I are the same age. He knows that show. I know that show, which is from the mid-'70s, a British show that said quite possibly in 1999 we'd have a whole blown moon colony and there'd be all sorts of adventures happening there. Yeah, because that's 25 years after the show date. Right? Of course, in 1975, you would think by the year 2000, we'd have moon colonies, and we didn't.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like,
it's the same as when we were children. Mark, you and I are close in age. Yeah. When we were told basically that there'd be flying cars by the time we became young adults, and it never happened. Right. So
the Jetsons, future.
The Jetsons,
I've been waiting for my hoverboard forever. What the heck?
From Back to the Future, nice. The Jetson future was absolutely denied to us. Absolutely denied. The flying cars, the robot servants, everything.
That machine that you just push buttons and you get a whole new outfit. I wanted that.
It's awesome. The flying cities, all that stuff. The only future I've got is a freaking robot vacuum cleaner behind me that half the time I have to yell at it, which makes no sense because I know it's not listening. Oh God.
Oh my God, until it gets touched by a transformer and then it's going to come and try to get you in the night.
Stop. Yeah, it's like, stop trying to go underneath that chair. You know you can't fit under there. He's trying.
But I think getting back to Joe, I mean, he's just one kind of restless night where he's thinking about, Matt Walsh pops in his head, he's thinking about the moon landing. He's like, you know, gosh darn it, like maybe they didn't go to the moon because they can't go. Oh, I mean, that's a flat earth realization when you're like, maybe they had to fake it because we just can't go, guys. Yeah, and then he's going to go, maybe I should just look into this flat earth thing really quick, because even if you're not looking into flat earth stuff, you see the wires and the harnesses, you see the bad CGI, you see the ball that should be held in gravity float away going
or
down.
Elon Musk's Tesla in space, how fake that looked.
Right. So it's just Joe's just sitting there one night, and this is just going to be brilliant when it happens, because he's just going to pop out and he's going to be like so consumed with the information and be like, it all makes sense.
I think Joe, for the most part, knows, DJ. I think that he just can't say it on the show, which is why he's brought it up. You know, again,
I don't think so. I don't think he knows yet.
Okay.
I think he knew a long time ago when he first came out and said that we didn't go to the moon.
Yeah, remember, he's been bringing us up a lot. But
I think his pride before the fall, the way he bashes whoever would make a flat earth documentary is a effing retard. You know what I mean? His pride is like chugga. Think about his trajectory, going from this little tiny podcast that nobody's really paying attention to, but because all his cool, interested things all of a sudden are paying out, now he's getting hundreds of millions of dollars, and now this little podcast is chugga, all the way to the top of the food chain, and he's thinking I'm getting cooler and cooler, does a live comedy show, and then boom, he makes the most like asinine joke about a flat earth when, hello, if this is real, you're going to look like an idiot. So wake up, dude. We're just all waiting like, hey, Joe Rogan, wake up.
Right. I know. I got you. And get the short that I made, you know, I think it was the 16-minute mark where he said, yeah, it looks flat. And yes, he does call flat earthers effing retarded, of course. But at the same time, I still think he has to do that for his audience because he's, again,
I get that side too. I do, but I just personally think that it's a mental block right now. That's my prediction that he.
It might be, but the bigger the thing for me, because again, he's absorbed enough stuff through osmosis that I think
he can't reveal it because if anyone at the top, and he is at the top of podcasting, anybody at the top in anything ever tells the truth about it, the world will look like what's behind Mark right now. Fire.
Yeah.
Seriously,
well,
things will fall apart. All aspects of civilization.
To your point, DJ, there is a reasoning when if he says, again, that was one of his opening lines 6 minutes into his comedy routine where he says, I don't believe in the moon landing, right? Which is funny because he was kind of back. He took a couple steps back with Matt Walsh, but you know full well that when he was at that audience, he was like, no, I don't believe in the moon landing. But the follow-up question to that is, why would you fake it? Which he has not really addressed publicly, which is, why would you fake it? There's only a couple reasons why, and I went over them a decade ago, which was you could fake it to say, we make America look great, and I explained that to people like in the mid to late 60s. It was a great opportunity for us to just put a exclamation point on America, F yeah. And say, we're going to do what the Romans didn't even do. We're going to go to the moon. It's like, did they go? Who cares? We're just going to say we went. Which is a good reason, but it's not a great reason. The better reason, which I'm sure DJ and I will disagree on this, which is you fake it because you can't go and you got to stop people from asking questions. And you have to stop the giant corporations from trying to
fake it when you can't make it.
There you go. This case. You can't let Lockheed Martin and Boeing and General Dynamics and all those companies try to do it on their own. You have to militarize space. You have to stop them because otherwise one day what will happen is Lockheed Martin will call up his friend down at Frito-Lay. It's like, hey, you want to put a flag on the moon? Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Over like 5 martinis. And the next thing you know, it's like why do our rockets keep crashing? I don't know. We should ask somebody.
Well, that's where the internet hive mind is very wise, and it is not going to let if all the flat Earth content is rising to the top, and you guys are getting all the best metrics all of a sudden back again, and they haven't shut it down completely, but now all the audience it's growing. Well, Joe Rogan's audience is going to grow and grow that are going to be more demanding a flat Earth conversation.
Right.
So it is going to be interesting what's going to happen. I mean, look, we could talk all day long about future predictions, but we did. I don't know if we're going to get to it, but like in the final card, I'm seeing a lot of asteroid. Because Joe Rogan also all the time on his show, he's like, we could have a solar flare any minute and it could just wipe us all out. Or an asteroid. He's like, psh, and he's going, dude, don't you know comets added all the extra water? That's how the floods happen. So he's constantly got his head thinking about space. So I don't think he's let go of space.
Good point. You're probably right there. If he keeps talking about space, and we'll know pretty soon if he brings Neil Tyson back on or some astronauts back on or whatever. Although the astronauts would be tricky nowadays because he has said on multiple occasions now that he doesn't believe in the moon landing, and the astronauts would be like, okay, then what are we doing? Well, no.
Well, and Neil deGrasse, I mean, he can't come back either. Because he's a known liar now in the eyes of Joe Rogan, basically, right?
Yeah.
Why?
Who? Neil Tyson? Well, okay.
If he finds out that the Earth is, then absolutely. But look what happened to Neil deGrasse Tyson this year already with Terrence Howard and Joe Rogan. See, Joe Rogan is like on the stepping stone to the truth. I could see it unfolding. I had a similar journey. He had Stephen Meyer on there who wrote the Return of the God hypothesis. He's having more and more conversations about gravity. That was the whole Terrence Howard episode, and how gravity is not real. The way that they've told us something else is happening here. It's electrostatic. Right. And so Joe is, all these things are being pieced together because he's interviewing these top professions across all the entire earth of these things that even in archaeology, Jimmy Corsetti, who has bright insight, he just put out a video on his YouTube, check it out, that archaeology is at a standstill. So you can't get new digs and new excavations, and it's not a funding issue. They don't want information coming out, even in archaeology. So the walls are closing in on so many of these industries, these different professions. Gravity, you have, so, I kind of went over it, but that's what I'm seeing.
I got you.
We're going to have to break out of this cage that they built for us very, very soon before they really lock it down. I'm not talking 2020 style lockdowns. I'm talking about a lockdown on information, a big one, a forever one.
Well, that's leave the world behind. That's what could be coming.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to be paranoid, but hey, God is with us. I'm just going to say, no matter what you believe, I just believe this place is created and God is with us. No matter what happens, if it gets really scary, guys, and maybe the truth doesn't come out and you get discouraged, don't be discouraged. Just know that God is love, and love is going to win.
I love it.
That's why I'm here. I believe that.
What was that line? God, I can't remember the comedian's name. He goes, if love is blind and God is love, does that mean Ray Charles is God?
Or Stevie Wonder.
Or Stevie Wonder.
A Russian vid says isn't blind, so who knows anymore?
By the way,
anything.
DJ, it was a funny thing when I sent him the more Scientism short. One of your takeaways was, wait, you believe in Bigfoot?
I know we didn't even talk about that. I'm like, oh man, you had me. But hey, in this mythical realm, biblical cosmology, maybe there is a Bigfoot. I'd be pretty surprised.
I'm just saying, what I'm saying is the point of the video was, you can't tell me, and scientists would be the first one. I mean, I will say this, at least they would never jump on and say, if I asked a scientist, I'd say, hey, have you found every single species that's out there, both on the ground and in the water? And they'd say, no, of course not. And it's like, well, then why every time do we come up with something, we say, hey, we saw this weird looking thing over here, and they're like, nope, you absolutely did not see that. And it's like, again, that is the mind of a scientist, which is,
well, scientists can find new exoplanets, and
there you go. Oh yeah,
forever
we have
far away,
we have to believe
that they can't actually go to, and discover those, but we can't discover everything that's here right in our own backyard.
Right.
Yeah, because God makes weird shit.
Yep. So do I. That's nice. So do I think there are primates walking around that we haven't found? Sure. Again, which is why I mentioned the Billy ape for a fraction of a second in there, which was, we didn't discover that until 2003. Yeah, it got hyped up, but at the same time, look, it was a chimp we didn't find until 2003.
What else is there?
That's a long time. Plus, there's species. I mentioned the giant cobra real fast, which is I think what I call, I'm not trying to be dark when I say this, I call them fatal discoveries, which is, you're an explorer, you go out there, it's like, oh wow, look at that, it's a cobra with a head the size of a horse. Well, do you get a chance to actually write about that? Probably not.
Your last word.
Yeah, that's your. It's like you're writing in the journal. He's chasing me. He's chasing me.
It was scary.
Or there was one other real quick I want to bring up, which was, we got time to the break. Yeah, we got a couple minutes. Which is I didn't bring up in the video, but I wanted to, but it was going to take too many seconds. Which was the giant octopus, otherwise known as the kraken. We're not talking about the giant squid. We're talking about the giant octopus. A lot of people don't know that the female octopus dies during childbirth and the male octopus dies during conception, right? This naturally keeps the numbers down. So only the babies, so that's why you don't see teams and teams and teams of octopus out there. But here's where it gets weird. If neither of that happens, they just keep growing. So a virgin octopus just keeps growing and growing and growing. Well, you can imagine, right? If one's in a cave, and I've heard stories about this, it's like in like some of the subterranean or underwater caves that are in the Caribbean. Every once in a while, someone will mention one of these things. It's like, this octopus was freaking monstrous, right? And yes, it's an anomaly. It's not its own species, but it is a variation of the species.
Wow, that's very, very interesting. And that's adaptation and not evolution.
Yeah, and I'm not swimming in any of those. You know, you see the wonderful, they're called dark water holes in the Caribbean, where you have the blue water on the outside and these dark pits of water. And it's like, it's a great thing for tourists. And I've heard stories about tourists that are like swimming. It's like, hey, what happened to Bob? Right? Because, you know, if you ever seen an octopus hunt, right, it's quick. They just grab your leg and you're like, boom. It's not like a great white so cool. where you're running.
That would be a good mascot too, is the octopus.
There you go. The octopus, if you guys don't know, there's wonderful videos. Those are the closest things. They say the octopus is also very, very weird, which is genetically, the DNA is so far removed. It is the farthest removed from us. They say it might as well have come out of a freaking spaceship. It's that.
Did you ever see My Octopus Girlfriend? I mean, My Octopus Teacher, the one where he falls in love with the octopus.
No.
It's so cute.
I didn't.
Oh my God, great documentary. This guy goes to the same spot in South Africa every day for a year, and he records this interaction without a scuba tank. He literally like free dives, interacting and videoing an octopus that he met. And it's so crazy because it's like one octopus within a certain, you know, amount of, let's say, an acre, until the next octopus might be nearby to mate with, but they almost never interact all their lives. And it's the one octopus in that realm that kind of takes care of business, you know. It's a really great documentary, so shout out. It's called My Octopus Teacher, but it does get a little weird. He starts to kind of fall in love with the octopus, but it's so cute.
They are very cool. Aww. You know, they change colors, they're problem solvers, they're thieves. You guys, if you're old enough, you remember the stories where they'll put a tank, like a sealed tank. They'll put an octopus in a tank, a glass tank, and they'll put food, like a crab, over in a tank next to it, completely sealed off.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody leaves the room, and the octopus will be like, yeah, so I'm going to crawl out of my thing, go over there, grab it, and, you know, take it out, and then put the lid back on. And get back into my tank and make it look like, oh, it wasn't me. I don't know what happened to the crab.
Wow.
They're so freaking weird.
Have you ever seen where they can watch other octopus and learn from watching? So there was a trap where they put the crab into a trap and the one octopus knew how to do it, but then the other octopus didn't know, and it was watching it. The other octopus in the next kind of enclosure get this crab by twisting off the thing and doing all this weird stuff, and then it could go back and do it. So it's like, and the octopus are fascinating. I love them.
Octopus see, octopus do. It just doesn't have the same ring.
I consider it the same. That's like a micro version of the 100th monkey effect, which again, science denies. They say, you know, love the fact that science will find something and then completely walk it back. It's like, no, we didn't find it. There was no paper on that. No, it's not us. It's like, what are you talking about? We just didn't pull it out of our ass. It was you guys.
Hey, how much time do we have before the break? I want to discuss why perhaps David Weiss' Jim Brewer video tapped out on Monday when it could have kept going. I think it's the P. Diddy thing. The P. Diddy thing, I'm not saying that was released and got all.
Did he bring that up during the thing?
No, I just mean that it's taking people's attention.
No.
So many people are wrapped up in that.
He was straight up shadow banned. He was, I mean,
well,
that is
too,
what
but people's attention's being taken away by that ridiculous story. And I do have to say that it's Epstein all over again. I don't think there'll be any arrests. There will be no lists of names, same thing as Epstein, and it'll just all fade away when they're done distracting us. That's my statement on the P. Diddy thing.
Oh, the P. Diddy thing? Maybe. Yeah. For me, I'm still thinking about it. I'm not really sure. I think it's tied to the Epstein thing, though, which is.
I'm not saying it's not real or it's not happening. I do not know.
But it's a nice distraction.
But I don't think there'll be names released or, you know, I was on X and I was reading these things. It's like Beyonce, blah, blah, blah is involved with the P. Diddy thing and film will be coming out. Hillary Clinton, film will be coming out. Pink deleted her Instagram.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
Megan Fox deleted her Instagram. And none of those things are true. Maybe they deleted some posts, but it could just be coincidental. And there's a lot of hype going on
even
right now.
If they did, all those people have lawyers, all those people have spin doctors, all those people have pros. Their job is to keep bad things from happening.
The thing that makes it kind of fake is the baby oil.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. the baby oil. All the bottles of baby oil was almost joke level. And that made me think, come on now. That's got to be fake.
It is the Epstein thing all over again, this whole saga. But what I'm kind of seeing and picking up on is just more of that corruption. And the system at the very top. They're not going to crack down on these people, I don't think. That's why the world is getting weirder and things. But the average person who's a good person trying to just make it and fall in love and get to, have a life, they're seeing so many of this weird stuff just bubble up everywhere. We can get into this later, but I've been thinking a lot about, like, what are the globe people going through right now? Like, if you don't see through the lies and you don't see through this kind of immorality and corruption, it feels like hopelessness. And so I kind of been circling back there. Sorry, I got a little passionate early about it because it has been, it really upsets me, like, these things that are happening, but I know that we got to let it go because it's all going to unfold as it is. It's just,
that's why a lot of globe believers, they don't believe in the creator, et cetera, because there's no need to. The life, even if they have a happy life and a wife and a husband or whatever it is they've got, they have this sense of desperation inside because nothing makes sense. The Trump fake shooting, the P. Diddy thing, the Epstein thing, all these skeletons coming out of closets, all these dead bodies floating to the surface, so to speak, the dirty, disgusting stuff of life. A globe believer doesn't have the foundation that a flat earther has. Now, I know there are Christian globe believers, but I just am talking about those people who believe in the Big Bang, don't really believe in the creation per se. And it's a lot harder, I think. It's a lot harder. It's a lot easier. And actually, we can laugh at it all when we're flat earthers.
Hey, but Joe did talk about that today. He used that example about if you're an atheist and you don't have any hope, it's like you're kind of on pills and you're trying to cope with all this craziness. You don't necessarily feel better than the people who, he was just thinking even people who believe in God, they just went to God, period, which is a conversation that's popping up more and more. And it's like when you get to the flat side, you kind of see a little bit more possibility of how God could be real. So.
Okay, we got to go to our first break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about the Will Duffy thing, because he's on the thumbnail, and where that ended up. And we got a few headlines and some other stuff. So let's see what happens when I do this.
Introducing the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock App Meetup Maker. Never miss another meetup again. You can look up meetups in several different ways. Sort by date. You can search by location or within a 500-mile radius.
Flame burned out at almost exactly an hour.
To create and list your own meetup, enter the date. Give the meetup a name, a location name. Add a photo. Enter your contact information. Create a group chat name and then fill out the description with all of the details. Select your background color and hit the Save button to add your meetup to the list. Once the meetup is saved, it will ask you to create a group chat for all of the meetups so people can join the group and start a local chat community.
We'll do that soon.
Select
as we come back, that'll be a perfect, because then I can mess with the getting the headlines on screen.
Add your welcome message, and your meetup is now available for all to see.
I wonder why you can't see my share.
To make sure you don't miss another meetup in your area, you can select your desired radius and whether you want push notifications or email or both.
All right.
Whenever a new meetup is added in your selected radius, you get notified.
I mean, you're perfect
the Flat
in
Earth,
frame,
Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock Meetup Maker, bringing people together all around the plane.
Right. Yes. No, you're good. Well, you're kind of blocking one.
Join me, Karen B., every moon day at 9:30 a.m. for Coffee Talk on YouTube, Rumble, and Rockfin. You never know what you'll learn about in the coffee shop. Open topic and open phones, y'all. You can also go to flatearthfestivals.com for updates on the latest news for Flattoberfest 2024 and also for meetups, local meetups. If you want to have your meetup listed on flatearthfestivals.com for free, please email flatearthfestivals@protonmail.com.
Okay, coming back. Welcome back to Strange World, part 2 of 2. It's you, me, the always perfect Patricia Steere, the always delightful DJ Curious. And you know what? That was Joe Jackson stepping out from his album.
I'm not participating in that. I've decided.
No, we gave you a chance. I gave you a
chance. Yes, you did. Okay, Patricia, while I'm setting up the headlines, and we will talk about the Will Duffy thing, but Patricia has a letter to read that was sent to her.
A letter to read, and I'm going to say hello to the chat. Now, this letter, I'm not going to say who wrote it, but I'm just going to read it. And it came to me yesterday. And it has to do with, of course, Flat Earth and, well, people that you know. Hello, Patricia. I just wanted to thank you for re-uploading all of the old episodes on my channel. I should say right up front that I was never a full-blown believer, but the topic always fascinated me. I watched your show as often as I could. Despite some guests not being as charismatic as others, your hosting was always warm, professional, and engaging. But man, oh man, the chemistry between you and Mark was always a huge selling point. You guys are both so relatable and likable as individuals, and your banter together really clicked and elevated your show to an even higher level than what you brought to the mix individually, which is really the heart of what makes anything good, right? Partnerships are what we as humans aspire to and instinctively admire. I mean, the greatest group of all time, the Beatles, well, I don't know about that, were built on the partnership of John and Paul. David Weiss was another favorite guest, as I felt he also fit in well with the vibe that you and Mark generated. Another appeal of revisiting the show is the nostalgia of those times, 2015 to 2019. The early days of Flat Earth, they were the most fun and innocent. Even the Eric Dubay stuff just seemed like a quirky antagonistic twist rather than anything really controversial. I've lost touch with the news regarding a lot of the characters in the Flat Earth world in the intervening years, but I did see a few of the documentaries that were made about the movement. And again, despite not even being a believer, I felt frustrated at how you all were portrayed and treated by the mainstream media, and especially more so now that we all know how despicable they truly are. And he went on, and I won't read the rest of it, but I thought that was a really, really nice email.
That is nice.
And if you want to email me, please feel free to do so. And my email address and my X and my Instagram and my YouTube channel and my Rumble will be linked in the description box. Or no, actually in the comment section of this video. Or you can just find it all on my channel on YouTube, Patricia Steere. Let me very quickly say hello to the chat and hey to Denton, Texas Flat Earth Guy and Zulu1 and Jason Ray and Phil Henry and Freethinker and Singe Man and Gov or GOV. Hello to Half Tater and scrolling up here, CJ and 16 Alpha V, Sky Ponderling and John.
Sky Ponderling, shout out.
Also Bali Music Journey. Bali Music Journey made a comment that I thought was very funny, but it's about a very sad thing. She said, Lebanon is getting the Justin Bieber treatment by the West. It's actually kind of true. You know, Lebanon's being like pummeled right now, let's just say.
I don't know Justin Bieber references.
It kind of ties in with the P. Diddy thing and what people say. P. Diddy
I
did
gotcha.
Justin Bieber.
I gotcha.
And Lebanon's getting bombed right now. I mean, as far as we hear in the news anyway.
Yeah.
I don't have any personal information about that.
They're trying, and we will see, 6 weeks before the election, we'll see how what that wraps up to be. We'll see.
Trevor Seven, Ike Diamonds, who else? Anybody else? Lowry is here. And anyone I missed, Triple J, anyone I missed, sorry. Thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. And please give the video a thumbs up. Okay, I'm done.
That's great. Let's talk before headlines, because we have time, because it's an open format show. Let's talk about the Will Duffy thing and how that has sort of a new wrinkle to it, which I'm not going to be happy about it, but at the same time, we should probably explain it. Which was, so Will Duffy decided he was going to do his version of sacrilege against Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory by creating a golden ticket scenario for a flat earther to be gifted a ticket to go to Antarctica. And he turned it in, he got submissions like, message me and you could win, a free thing to Antarctica. Yeah. And then 2 days after the I can't remember her name, the girl that won it, she was very excited and I was happy for her.
Lisbeth.
Mm-hmm. They all of a sudden 2 days later, he's like, yeah, it's not going to happen. And the guy that
I know, crazy.
the guy that was supposed to fund it was not, and he also said, well, he was a flat earther, and that this was a flat Earth scam. And it's like, oh, okay, that seems a little suspicious right off the bat. And so the more that people started digging in it from both sides, there were people on the Globe side and people from our side that were digging into it. What had happened is that and Patricia, please chime in if I screw any of the details.
Well, I have to say before you tell the story that I am not sure if this person was a flat earther or not.
There you go.
No matter what Will Duffy says, no matter what some flat earthers say, and no matter what some Globe people say, I'm not saying that they're lying. I'm just saying this person is more like one of those internet scammer types, that scam you. They do it for money usually, but it doesn't mean that they have to be a flat earther if they're saying they're a flat earther, or have to be a globe earther if they're saying they're a globe earther. This guy was probably just doing it for jollies.
And Will Duffy was the last person that he approached on top of it. It turns out and again, I don't know, I've never heard of this guy. He's an East Indian kid who I don't know. I've never.
Flat Earth philosophy was one of his.
Flat Earth philosopher.
Flat Earth philosopher. And then also he used the name New Moon.
Right.
He was in Globe chats as a Glober, also in Flat Earth chats supposedly, although I've never ever seen him.
No.
Any of those names.
Yeah.
He claimed he knows Nathan Oakley. He claims he doesn't really like Whitsitt and Jaron.
Well, there you go.
This is just like a weird backstory this person's created for themselves. Doesn't mean that he ever was doing anything anywhere.
Right.
Or maybe he's going in one chat pretending he's a Glober and going in another chat pretending he's a flat earther. I'm not saying that a flat earther scammed the girl Lisbeth out of her golden ticket. I don't. This just to me, it's just a scammer who did it. He's a scammer with no affiliation with anybody, no matter what he says.
Right. No channel, no content.
No one knows this person.
Nobody knew who he was, and he went on to one of our group chats with voice only and claimed responsibility for it. It's like, okay, that's never a good sign. And what the timeline that I kind of pieced together was he was just approaching anybody in the community, just offering them. It's like, oh, hey, by the way, I'm willing to send you. Approach Nathan Oakley first, right? Said, I'm willing to pay for you to go to Antarctica. And, Nathan Oakley's like, yeah, I don't know you. Go away. And then he
approached CC of Westchester County to try to get him to go. I don't know how that worked out, but CC's a nice guy. So
which it's not a new scam, which is you get the channel to get all excited, right? And kind of like the Dear Moon project with Elon Musk back in the day. It's like, oh, hey, I'm going to fund you to go to the moon. It's like, oh my God, I'm going to make tons of videos about this. And then all of a sudden you pull the rug out from the Charlie Brown football thing.
Yeah, but I mean, what kind of scam is it? What does this guy get?
Personal satisfaction.
Well, maybe it's Will Duffy like a plant, because Will Duffy, to me, this is all about making Will Duffy's account grow. So it's just a publicity stunt, the way he's kind of
It's
like
a very
dangling the carrot.
That seems logical.
To your point, DJ, it did surprise me that Will Duffy fell for this so easily.
Yeah.
Which was, the guy went to Will Duffy and, Will shared the emails. It's like, wow, it's a pretty generic email for you to all of a sudden create an entire campaign around it. It's like, oh, I'm willing to finance somebody to go to Antarctica. It's like, no, I'm sorry. If it was me, I don't know you. There's good faith money that has to be involved here. $1,000. PayPal me $1,000, which I will hold and put forward to whatever, just to let me know.
Even if you sell something on Craigslist of high dollar value that you've put an ad up,
Right,
say, I
there
don't
you
know, what,
go.
like a Vespa scooter or something, which I've sold once, you have a deposit, and then it's a non-refundable deposit. So that when they come, they drive it, they say, I want it, I'll be back tomorrow. You take the deposit. If they don't come back, since you've taken it off the market, you now have this deposit that you get to keep. Yeah. And in this case, Will's like, oh, great, thanks.
Yeah,
but it was a lot of money.
For Will to be like, sounds legit to me. I'm going to start making videos. It's like, okay.
But he said because all the other offers to pay for people were legit. And so he just assumed they were all legit. Will could be completely innocent in all this. But
really?
I really don't know.
Do you really believe that, Patricia? Do you really think that Will's innocent?
I really don't know what to think. I don't know what to think if this is. I don't see this person who's the scammer as a flat earther we've all rubbed shoulders with, one of our own.
Right.
I've never heard of this person, and I was in flat earth from the newer flat earth since 2015. And even if I bowed out in 2019, I watched videos. I was still around, although not on air.
Right.
I've kept track. I know names. I know the new names. I know what happened to a lot of the old people that are no longer here. No, that guy, I never heard of that guy.
Yeah, I feel like he would be super popular, like amongst witsit. Someone that's willing to donate that much money for whatever it costs, would probably be a very generous donor that's just a fan of the Flat Earth movement and has the means. So I also find it very fishy. And DJ has been very curious about the final experiment and digging in, trying to get more insights into Will Duffy. That's pretty much how I spend most of my week, guys, as well. Let's get to the bottom of this. And I have some insider information that I'll probably have to share in a later episode, but don't you worry.
Ooh.
DJ Curious is getting right to the root of the problem.
All right.
Well, wow, you've left me feeling like wanting more.
Well, I didn't.
Well, I don't want to expose this person because he's. Anyway, I've said too much.
So next week, you're going to tell us more next week?
Next week, hopefully, we'll see. But what I can tell you is that people are observing Will Duffy's antics and how he's at playing nice, like in the Golden Ticket. He says how he really was touched and endeared by all the stories of the flat earthers, and he seems to really connect with them. But then there's evidence that he's deleting comments that these people are making and kind of creating a narrative that he wants. So it's something very nefarious is in the air about all this that even some inside people have shared. So we'll see what happens as time goes on, but I don't trust this man.
Me either.
Mm-hmm.
And Mark's already building a fire for him.
Yeah, Mark, you making us s'mores? Like, what's going on?
Sorry, I keep hearing Will Duffy's name, and I just think flames. So that's for you. That's for you, Will.
Did you hear any of that, or did you?
Yeah, I did. I absolutely. Well, no, my headphones were in my ears the entire time.
Oh, okay.
And no, I trust your judgment on this, DJ, and we'll see what happens again.
Well,
Will, a warning to you: just nothing better happened to Jaren or Whitsett during that trip. That's all I'm saying.
Or there will be pitchforks and fire.
Yes.
But have you guys heard the latest? So two things I have. Number one, have you been following the John Hanvy and Will Duffy exchanges?
No.
Do you know about that?
I like John Hanvy a lot.
Yeah, so John Hanvy's been putting himself out there of trying to really kind of figure out how this firmament dome could work. And so one of the theories is that, okay, so if they do see a 24-hour sun, does that kill flat Earth? No. Why? Because if we're in a glass dome, when you shine a light, like an exterior light source, into the glass dome, it will actually project 2 or more images of a light inside the dome. So I did this experiment because I do have to shout out that I went to the Flat Earth meetup over the weekend with Renee, and shout out to the people that were there that were awesome, and thank you so much for sharing your story with me. I was excited to see you guys, and it was a great little group, but we had fun. But we did do this experiment because one of the gentlemen brought a glass dome where we could have the sun shining through, and I took a video of it. I put it on the DJ Curious TikTok, so you can check it out there, and the Instagram. But that's like Will Duffy isn't addressing these things, and he acts going back to when he interviewed with Austin asked him, like, do you even know about flat earth theory? He's like, no, I don't really have the time. I haven't had a chance to look into it. But yet he does a response video to John Hanvy where he is more versed in the flat earth theory than even I am when it comes to how the firmament could have two suns or not and what direction things need to move. And so Will is definitely being deceitful just from that whole exchange, those two exchanges myself.
Right, I agree. And even earlier when he said that he never asked the people who are putting together the Antarctic trip if there is a 24-hour sun. That would be the first person I would ever ask, people who are there all the time.
Right.
He just never did. Never got around to it. What?
Exactly. I remember when you said that, and yes.
Same thing.
So, hey, chat. Go to Will Duffy, pay attention to this stuff, tip off the Austin, we got to make sure Austin's smart. He knows he's probably just going, guys, leave me alone. But I feel like, still, I mean, it is a little bit nerve-wracking thing. Like, how far is Will willing to go, and what's really behind all this? My mind is going pretty far, but maybe it's just him trying to make a name for himself. So he's doing a good job.
Yeah, so far. And we'll have to get.
And John Hanvy is who's doing a really great job. I mean, I really respect what he's doing.
He's put a lot of time in. And the last thing I was going to say, did you hear that the golden ticket winner, Lisbeth, actually, she did get a golden ticket? That was the latest news today. Did you see that? Yes.
Tell us how it all went down. I did watch part of the video.
You know, Mark? Okay. So
I sent it to you, Mark. Yeah.
So Will Duffy does, he hypes up the golden ticket. He tries to get everybody to get on all the flat earth good sides. Then there's the letdown of like, oh, I was scammed by a flat earther because flat earthers are lame.
Then he takes it away. Then he comes
it's
back.
like, oh, why? Because flat earthers are lame. And then now all of a sudden he comes out with a new video of like, oh my God, guys, actually the flat earth GoFundMe for Lisbeth funded the ticket.
No, it's not that funded the ticket. I think that the ticket is
privately
partial.
Done?
The whole amount of money is being funded by some guy he named. A person.
No, well,
somebody else stepped forward.
There's like partially the donation, and then the rest of it is a person funding it. The larger chunk of the money.
Do we know who that person is?
But the point is, Lisbeth gets to go. Apparently, she got a golden ticket.
Oh, good for her.
She is going.
Good for her.
Yeah.
I was a little worried.
So it was a roller coaster.
Yeah. To me, I would not want to go, not because I'm afraid of finding out the truth or anything. It's just, of course, I wasn't invited anyway. Right. And I hope that she really has a great time and a great experience. But I don't know. She may eventually say, journey, boy, I wish I never went.
The journey will be exciting. The destination will suck. I have never heard good stories about Antarctica ever. It is just, well, I mean, again, if you guys have spent any time in the north, I mean, it's freaking Minnesota in January or Michigan in January, all the time.
Well, if they don't, especially if they don't see a penguin, like, come on, that is going to be a waste.
They're not going into the penguin area, so
what a waste. But hey, I did like on Terry Eicher's channel. He has some really cool video footage of people that did go to Antarctica and they climbed the wall and they have some footage of it. But I thought, what other test? Maybe Mark and Patricia, you can help me out here. What other tests could they do while they're down there, like a high altitude balloon to kind of view?
No,
the video,
they won't allow you to do that. They won't even allow.
They won't
even allow drones.
You to do any of that stuff.
For me, it'd be an easy one. Do compasses. Compass should absolutely dominate south, and they don't. I've had way too many people. In fact, there's been wonderful, again, globe earthers, the Antarctic researchers, it's one of those questions that kids ask. Kids ask people in Antarctica, what happens to the compass? It's like, nothing really. It doesn't do jack. And,
my compass is broken is probably what they all say.
And people just gloss over it. It's like, well, just one of those things. It's like, what? What do you mean one of those things? It's... No.
Hey, and don't you think that Analema is going to already prove that there isn't going to be a 24-hour sun, at least not the sun that we see that is like the clock, but maybe they see a reflection, I mean, I feel like the Analema is a pretty good indicator that it's going back and forth, back and forth.
I don't know. All I know is, again, for those witnessing the 24 hours, it sucks because you're going to have to be up for at least minimum 24 hours. Probably longer. It's like, all right, hope you're ready for it. And remember, it's not like you can take a nap. You have to actually be up for 24 hours, and unless you want to rely on your camera for footage for whatever, which some.
Hey, but maybe they'll be like having fun with each other, and maybe Austin and McKeegan will become friends, and that's my little like fantasy in my head that Austin can if Austin can convert anyone, Austin is the one who can convert anyone, especially like the McKeegan character where they're like camping out, hanging out with everybody, but then they end up wanting to just talk about stuff because they're probably the most versed in both sides. And whether McKeegan knows it's flat or not, if he's really just pushing lies, eventually his conscience is going to catch up with him and be like, okay, I've run out of things because I just keep lying.
Know.
Oh, see,
I
don't think
some people who have no conscience.
I don't think McKeegan's being malicious. I think he's just chasing clicks like everybody else before him. He is just the last in a long line of trolls that discovered, hey, if I do an anti-flat Earth video, I get crap loads of hits. To where, McKeegan's a great example now. Not only did he get hits, he got a certified channel, he got sponsors, he got the whole 9 yards. Whereas flat earthers have been doing this for longer with bigger hit count. We don't get sponsors and we don't get anything. In fact, we get a wiki entry. They had to create a wiki entry for our videos just for us.
I was thinking this the other day. You know how when you make a flat earth video, you get the banner ad that says the real truth about what the globe really is. Right. Now, you get that for any kind of convid materials as well. Or I don't know if that still happens with the vax, but yes.
You do.
Okay. What other subjects get the banner ad?
Oh, I can tell you exactly where they were because I watched the Senate hearings live when it happened. It is
no, but I'm talking about the banner ad, not theoretically. The banner ad you've seen.
The banners appear for us, anything medical, and like snake oil, and anything that's false flag related. So January 6th.
So all the videos where Trump got quote unquote shot in the ear should have had the banner.
It should have. It should have because because
it wasn't real.
One supposedly died in the stands, but no one wants to address that this year for whatever reason. You got to remember that they rolled back for 3 years. They wouldn't even allow you to question the 2020 election. It wasn't until this year that they rolled that back. It's like, because everybody's going to be talking about the last election. We don't want to just start banning.
Can people talk about Jan 6 now?
No, you will. No, not in that capacity. No, Jan 6 is still off limits. Jan 6 is in the history books now forever as the greatest, most horrible thing since Pearl Harbor.
Same as convid. Yeah. Same thing.
Yeah. So, but we were the ones that started it. We were the first wiki entry that people's like, why is there a wiki entry under, again, of all things, a Wikipedia entry? Hey.
But of course, people believe Wikipedia is the truth, period. End of.
Right.
Sadly.
Hate to do this to you guys, but
what?
We got a couple headlines we got to do.
Oh, okay.
So, Patricia can't see the headlines, can you? You can only.
No, I can't see anything.
It's all right. I will read them to you.
But I can see that 3 cats are on the screen. Just look for 1 minute. Look.
Just picture. Oh yeah, they're so cute.
DJ can see it. He can see the big one on my screen, right?
Yeah. So Patricia, all we're seeing is just picture Trump with a MAGA hat on.
Yeah, Trump with a MAGA hat. Go ahead.
I don't want to picture that. Please.
You can read it, DJ. Go ahead.
Well, I was setting it up for you.
Oh, okay. It's from the BBC, and it says Trump says he will not run again if he loses election. Now, that's a bad sign. Remember I said this year, it's 6 weeks until the election. This is an all or nothing deal where this takes away any of Red Team's hopes. Like, well, if he loses this time, he can still run again in 28. It's like, nope, he's not, because he'll be 80.
Yeah, age-wise.
Yeah, he'll be 83, something like that, 80 by the time 28 rolls around. So that is basically him saying, this is it. And it's really
now or never.
Yeah, and it's really surprising that he would even mention this. Most of the time.
That's weird. Why would you mention losing?
Exactly. That's
a bad sign.
That is
not that I care either way. By the way, I think it's all fake.
That is
but okay.
Positive marketing 101, which is you never say that word. It's like he will not run again if he loses. It's like, wait, why would you ever say you were going to lose? You're going to lose? Is there a chance you could lose because you've been saying all this time you're going to win?
Are we all three in agreement that most likely it's going to be blue team this year? Just that's what they're...
It is for me.
Yeah, me too. What do you think, DJ?
Oh, I can see both sides.
Me too.
I know, but I have to say that, right? Because I feel like if Trump wins, then that gets all the people blue side just so fired up and angry, and
there's a lot of protests and smashing of things.
Yeah,
but remember,
they want to be riled up bad. So,
but it's not riot season. It's not November.
That's true.
November is cold weather. Americans are they're not Canadians and they're not Europeans. The Americans are notoriously bad protesters in cold weather.
Right.
But they're not. They riot online. They don't really go out anyway.
Well,
they're just gonna be rioting.
Think about.
They have the media in their control. So.
Maybe they'll have Trump win. They'll be rioting online and they'll shut the internet down temporarily, which we all have heard they might do. Could be a reason.
I just don't see it. But we have plenty of time to talk about that between.
But if red team loses, then the blue team. The world's getting better. When is the world getting better? I don't know.
No. At that point, then you could use the excuse of the enemies, and I don't want to give spoilers away too soon, which is that all the world leaders think that Kamala is not a strong. Again, I'm not picking male leader. Therefore, America is in a position of vulnerability. Therefore, if you want to do bad things to America, now's the time.
But we had Biden, not a strong male leader.
He was still. It was an old white guy. Remember, white.
But think about it. Trump was president. How many years ago, right? And things did not get better. It's not like we have better morality and better all these things. Like the people are angrier, things are weirder than ever. So I think with Trump winning, it just pushes that kind of mayhem forward another 4 years where they get to go off, and then that sets the world up to actually be discouraged with politicians, which I see more of that happening where people are just kind of disenchanted on both sides.
That's good, I think. That's real progress, probably.
And that
well, I think they're setting up for the alien. Remember I said the final card, if they do plan an alien invasion, it sounds like these aliens are probably going to be helpful, and a lot of people are going to be like, thank you came here just in the nick of time. We're so done with this. We need your help. You know what I mean?
And then they'll say, we are your creator.
And we created the firmament. Oh my God.
You're teasing me, DJ, because that would be a wonderful thing. But I don't know. By the way,
the Flat Earth movie gets gnarly if that happens.
Yeah,
I mean, hey, that's Hibbler's angle, right? Hibbler's what about the fake alien invasion? The internet is buzzing with that right now.
That's true.
Right.
That segues into the next story, also from the BBC, which is how social media assassination conspiracies are uniting pro and anti-Trump voters. Which was, and we've seen this actually within our own community, which is there are people on both sides. People in blue team says, yeah, probably he could have faked it. And then red team's could have faked it. Because, again, the ear not being bandaged for any length of time at all.
No scar.
Yeah, scar. No one wants to talk about any plastic surgery, it even happened. It's no.
3 days later, the ear looked like nothing.
Yeah. Okay. It's well, why? What? Maybe because they saw social media, weren't getting traction. Anyway, they interviewed a couple women in this article, and they, with fairly big followers, and they're both of them sides saying, yeah, it seems pretty suspicious, which is why the second attempt didn't help anybody.
But it's weird. If it is real, that's also gnarly.
What?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I mean, the fact that he survived assassination attempt, that just, but they're trying to turn him into this savior role. So I could see how
that's why they staged it.
Yeah.
God turned his head at the last minute.
Yeah, again, the fact that Patricia would even go down that road. Normally, red team wouldn't even, and I know you don't vote, but red team wouldn't even consider it. And I come from a staunch red Republican family, and even there, they don't want to talk about it much. It's this kind of you'd think they'd be wearing Trump shirts right now, right? If it was really.
Yeah, my family's Republican too. My brother, I told him that the first Trump shooting was fake, and he got mad at me. But he also got mad at me because I'm a flat earther, and he's all Apollo mission, red, white, and blue, and all that. But my brother is awesome in many ways. So.
No. We will.
Well, it is hard because people they're caught up in this gives people hope. If you're red team or blue team, you're like, no, we need to be passionate about this. You need to go out there and vote. You need to make sure you're the problem if you're not helping with these issues. And it's guys, I see the puppet show on both sides. I don't trust Trump as far as I could throw him because look at SpaceX and Space Force that he implemented.
Yes, father of vaccine and still bragging about it.
Right.
It's ew, no.
Yep.
Ew.
Yeah. Again, with 6 weeks to go, there's plenty of action to be had. I am curious myself, not DJ curious, but curious how it's going to unfold because there's not a lot of hype. There's not a lot of hype right now, which is the only thing they're saying is, oh, well, Kamala's leading by 1 point in the polls. It's okay, we're going to turn this into a horse race on that. Again, nobody's going to sleep that night. Nobody. that people are going to be afraid to go to bed, and it's like, really, 3 a.m, it's still 1 point away from each other. You're turning this into the big drama show, and well, again, we'll deal with it more.
We should do a live stream.
I guess we'll see.
I'm not running any stories on P. Diddy this week because that's still unfolding. I know some people would be like, "Oh, talk about P." No, it's like, that's still evolving. I'm
sponsored by Johnson & Johnson baby oil.
Exactly. That's one of the reasons. Like, if you could release that in the first week, I have no idea where that's going.
And baby oil doesn't really work well for that sort of stuff, by the way.
Well,
everyone knows that, right? No.
I'm not gonna chime in, and DJ's putting his glasses on, so
I don't know.
I'm going to politely.
I've heard it's not the best thing.
I'm going to politely say that baby oil actually works quite well for a lot of stuff.
Okay. I would have no idea about it, to be honest.
Well, then why would you chime in? That's something you read?
Because I've heard it's not a good one.
We're going to play it
It's
like
bad.
Seinfeld, the contest, and we're just not going to say the words. We're just going to dance around.
I'm going to go into the chat. Is it true, chat, that baby oil?
Baby oil, for lovers. Good thing or bad thing?
I say it's supposed to be a bad thing. Anything will work.
It's super smooth. It smells nice. It gives you sort of a nostalgia feeling.
How many
nostalgia
kids do
for
you
like
have?
when you were in your
what?
mom's womb or something. It's kind of creepy.
What?
Yeah. How do you remember, Mark? Do you have any children?
No. I'm saying that baby oil is tied. Okay, scents are. You guys know this. Scents are tied.
Very fresh
Jason
memory.
Ray,
You have a very fresh memory of it.
Jason Ray says Astroglide.
Well,
those are silicone-based.
Yeah, if you want to go into
that are supposed
I'm
to
just
be
saying
better.
that stuff that you don't have to look weird going up to the counter with. Baby oil, lots of people buy baby oil, and who knows?
Okay.
Who knows? Maybe it's a P. Diddy thing, and I'm not going to go down that road too far, but
so gross.
Who knows?
Those poor people. I'm just thinking of the victims. The poor
all right.
victims.
I'm just going to say I have
Coconut
known
organic coconut oil, by the way. That's getting the vote in
organic
the chat.
coconut oil is top shelf. That is amazing stuff. Amazing stuff.
Now, if P. Diddy had freak offs with organic coconut oil, count us 3 in.
There you go. If I had a choice between baby oil and coconut oil, I'd go with coconut oil. Absolutely. No question. How
you can even do the mouthwashing thing with the coconut pulling. It's very useful for lots. You can
your
use it for
hair,
cooking.
makeup remover.
It's great for your skin. I mean, I've got some in the bathroom. Coconut oil.
Me too.
The extra virgin coconut oil. I think I got it from Costco. Just the.
What does everyone think of beef tallow? Is that good for the skin? I've been hearing a lot of that's been popping up. I feel like they're trying to sell me some sort of beef fat for my face. But
I've heard that's good if you're into that. I mean, I'm not, but I've heard.
What is beef tallow? Mark, help me out here.
It's like the bones melted down from the cow.
In fact, there was a story about it being used in fryer oil for. You can use it for to cook French fries. It's really, it's really good. Actually, it's incredibly tasty. It makes fries taste delicious. I can't tell you as far as skin regimen what that does.
I mean, I wouldn't want to smell like that.
Yeah.
I'd like to smell
probably
like
smell
coconut oil.
They're trying to target market me some beef tallow for my face.
If you don't,
and I may or may have not have tried it already.
If you don't mind smelling kind of meaty.
I just have no idea what I've put on my face, guys. So, but at the Flat Earth meetup, someone did tell me about turpentine and mixing with a little sugar cube, and apparently that deworms you.
I've done that before.
Oh.
Yeah.
A sugar cube and turpentine does what?
It's got to be turpentine from pine sap, like the pine tree, not the kind that's
What does it do?
Apparently,
it kills any parasites in your body.
Oh, deworms you.
Yeah.
I thought you said deworm.
Oh, wait a minute. We shouldn't talk about this because we're going to get the medical misinformation.
Right.
Oh.
So don't do that.
But I have tried it. I don't think I had parasites. I just did it because somebody else was doing it, and it was fun, I guess. Interesting.
All right.
Just to do it.
We'll be fine.
It doesn't get you high or anything.
Okay.
You've opened up so much, Patricia, with just your.
Yeah. A lot of things about me you just don't know.
No, again, I do think it's a bit excessive to go all out. Look, if you have a lot of money, I don't know what buying that much baby oil would do for you. Oh, again, unless it was some sort of weird thing, which we'll talk about off air.
Oh, with babies.
Well, I wasn't going to say anything.
Yeah. This is getting dark. Oh
Okay.
my God, this poor world.
That's why I didn't say it.
Okay.
This poor world. This poor world. But that's a stepping stone to flat Earth, because during the lockdown, all that kind of weird, creepy stuff about Epstein and all the people involved and all the weird things. I don't know how much we can even say on here. Good documentary called Out of Shadows, I think it was by the stuntman, kind of goes into this weird stuff that could be true and popping up more and more as time goes on.
Yes. But I do have to add this. Do we really know Epstein even died? Do we really know Epstein even went to jail? Do we even know Ghislaine, what a weird name, Maxwell was ever arrested, was ever in jail? Do we even know P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, whatever he is actually in jail?
Can we absolutely prove it? No. However, I can tell you from, I'm going to put myself in their shoes. You only need one of them. You don't need both. The woman, Ghislaine, I'm just calling her Ghislaine.
It's Ghislaine.
Ghislaine. Okay, fine.
For Ghislaine. It is a weird name.
Ghislaine.
It's spelled like
Ghislaine was the setup. She seemed to be more knowledgeable than anybody.
Could have all been made up, though.
What, you don't think the island happened?
It's possibly just a lie.
Okay, possibly, but you got to believe.
And that doesn't mean that there's not child sex trafficking and horrible things that happen. But I don't believe that actually, literally, Pizzagate happened. But that doesn't mean that I don't believe there's child sex trafficking and horrible things that happen.
Okay, you got to start.
These points of light, these flashes in the public eye of these things that happen that we get to look at are things for us to look at where the real stuff's happening hidden somewhere else.
Is this video
going to be deleted now?
No, not at all. If the island was real, then I think he died, because you don't need both of them. And if he made any sort of remarks to the fact where he wanted to use leverage, it's like, no, you can't make leverage against the people. Would if you had an island, would you film everything? Yep, you bet you would.
We never saw the film.
Wow, who are you going to show the film? Who's going to air the film? That film is.
There's the proof.
Oh my God. Okay, let's say you're an agency. Let's say I work for an agency.
I understand why we can't see it if it
No. If an agency found the footage first, that footage is priceless. It is worth more than frickin' platinum. And you use that against you now have leverage against anyone who was on that tape. And that immediately goes into, we'll just say the CIA's archives, and they have a special crew. And it's like, okay, we're going to contact these people, and we're going to say, hey, you know what? You're on that tape over there. Here's the date. Here's the time. Here's who you're with. And we own you now. It is straight up wonderful blackmail material. And at that point, you tease the details.
We need to play Chief Crow and the Flat Earth Worms with Auto Hoax or GTFO after.
All right.
I mean, just because I think. I
got you. No,
anyway, I'm just saying.
It's fine.
Well, I followed all that stuff. The Epstein Island one was really creepy, and just hearing about who was there and.
But no arrests. Nothing.
No arrests. So that's the part that the public kind of knows, and it's in their subconscious.
So arresting, go and do whatever you want.
Arresting the people from an agency again. What's the point? If you're the CIA, why do you arrest them? You don't arrest them. Yeah, you may eventually get to somebody, a small fish, which you're going to hang out to dry and use.
Okay, so arrest a prostitute on the street, but not the John who's paying for her.
Not if you can use not if the John works for a Fortune 500 company that you now have in your back pocket. Come on, this is Mob 1.
Okay,
this is Mob 101.
That pocket thing is kind of true.
That's what I'd use them for.
But I think a lot of this stuff's a distraction.
All right.
In many ways.
All right.
And I can't prove any of it.
I mean, how much can we talk about on here? Because I mean, I was super just fascinated by the whole Epstein story as well. And I mean, whether he died or not, or if it's real or not, I think what I categorize it as is that evil is real.
Oh yeah, that part is true. Whether or not that's real. Agree, 100%.
So
and also he was friends with Trump. And so was P. Diddy.
Right. And so on my Flat Earth journey, the Epstein stuff was also popping up into my through that little black device, right? All this information that's like, who can you trust? What can you trust? Things are happening, and looking into is evil real was another stepping stone. Like I mentioned tonight, I mentioned the moon landing, and I mentioned evolution, and then I mentioned looking into biblical cosmology and how the Earth functions. That eventually that helped me come to terms. The Earth might not be we were told, and boom, then that's where I had to get out of that evil bubble. But that's where the Globers exist right now. I mean, imagine the things we've covered in this just one episode are all the things that the average globe person is trying to make it in this world, survive, being held to the beauty standards, being held to the success standards of this world, and feeling the pressure. Everything is caving in on them. I mean, that's where my heart goes out to those people, because once you do get to the flat side, you can question everything. And I love, Patricia, that you go there, because hey, I think that's wise. We need to be thinking as broad as possible, because things have been such a lie. And then there's truth over on this side of like, hey, something better is going to have to come of it. Otherwise, what are we all doing here? Like, what is this all for? Is this all just for nothing? I mean, no, it can't be. So I just want the viewers to know, like, that's where hopefully we can kind of talk more about in the future.
Keep hope alive, regardless of what's really going on.
All right. Okay, moving on to some lighter fare. How about that?
Mark, are you still happy with both of us doing the show?
I regret this
decision. We just take it to places that maybe you don't want
I
us
regret
to go.
this decision immediately. No, it's fine.
Oh no.
No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. No, you guys, no. I dissenting voices are always wonderful. People love them, and it's totally cool. Absolutely fine. You kidding? I love you guys. You're wonderful.
We love you too. We love you too. Okay, go do your
thing.
thing.
At least on air. The So BBC. So these next ones are pretty easy. Which was, again, I love to hate the most popular channel in the world, Mr. Beast, because he's got 300 million subs, and they're all real, and they're all kids, and they're never going to unsub because he gives away stuff in the guise of basically lottery ticket prize things.
And the Beast 666.
Yes, and of course
Thanks
the fact
for that name.
Yeah, the fact that he calls himself Mr. Beast, that doesn't shock me at all. You know why? Because when the Fox show Lucifer came out, right? A show called Lucifer, where the devil comes to Los Angeles and helps the cops fight crime, and it runs for 5 seasons. It's like, are you kidding? And it's like, at one point they had everybody. They had the devil's mom, they had God, they had half the angels. It's like, oh my God, really? It's like, Gabriel and Lucifer are having drinks in a bar. It sounds like a joke. It's not. So when Mr. Beast is the #1 channel in the world, shocks.
Figures.
Yeah, of course he is.
Well, that's why I started to perk up, guys. Even I'm noticing all this crazy stuff too. That's why I had to get to the flat side. So at least Mark and Patricia, me just really quickly expressing myself on the show is very freeing, because I was stuck over here seeing all this crap unfold. And so just, I love it. I'm so happy to we can go there, and we got to go there, because not a lot of people are talking about this.
Mr. Beast is being sued, 6 ways from Sunday, and this one's going to be big because he got partnered with Amazon for a giant, was considered like the biggest game show in the world, with like 1,000 contestants. However, because he set it up in a hokey way, and some of the people thought they were being mistreated, and then they got a hold of some lawyers, and then all of a sudden, class action. So we don't know if the show's going to even air. He's going to be sued. We're pretty sure there's going to be settlements. If they have settlements, it'll air. Maybe. If not, we'll have to see. It's mostly just mistreatment from again, if you're trying to wrangle 1,000 contestants in a show, I think it was 1,000.
Wow.
1,000 participants, right? To win a cash prize of $5 million, biggest live game show in the world, you're going to have problems organizing people. I mean, that's an infrastructure nightmare.
Well, it's not the biggest live game show in the world. The biggest live game show in the world is the one we live in.
There you go.
The final experiment soon.
Well,
that one
too.
The way Will Duffy is mimicking Mr. Beast's antics and tactics.
On a side note, anyway, so that one's going to be fun. I'm going to be following that. Another one, which was, this isn't even Clown World. This is one of those little things. This goes to Patricia. I know that DJ knows who these guys are, but this is more for Patricia and me. The last full-size Kmart in the United States to close. That is in Bridgehampton, New York. It's closing down. It's like, people forget that Kmart was the thing. It was a huge thing for decades.
Before Walmart.
Yeah. And Walmart pushed them out. They
Kmart was kind of like low-level type shopping,
but
in the Walmarty way.
And again,
Same.
the cliche attention Kmart shoppers,
And also blue light special. That was something.
I remember one as a kid. There was one by my house, but I always preferred Target. That was what.
Yeah,
they
that's
say.
the one. If you have to go to those stores, it's like at least sort of acceptable.
At their peak, this shows you, nothing is forever. At their peak in the early 1990s, they had 2,300 locations.
Oh wow,
that's a lot. And
it is weird. It's sad.
Yeah, which means the last small Kmart will be in Miami. And they're going to hold out for I don't know how long, just probably for nostalgia's sake. So, yeah, there you go. Kmart, open 25 years, no more. So.
And the blue light goes out.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And we can't do a show, at least because, there's everything. All the media has been whittling down to a singularity. So we know there's only one real celebrity anyone cares about right now. That would be Taylor Swift. Taylor frickin' Swift.
Isn't that over yet?
No.
Oh, no.
Dear, it's not over. Taylor Swift appears to skip Chiefs game for the first time in 2024 season. It's the first game she has missed. And so what does that mean? We don't know. Again, there's something I've always said, which is you got to commit to the bit, which is, an old entertainment saying, which was something that I talked about back in the day, which was back during the Super Bowl, which is they missed this massive opportunity by not having Travis propose to her, even though, again, this is a completely manufactured relationship. And but the thing is,
they're in love.
Well, but you have to have the people sign on to it, and I'm sure Travis was all for it. It's like, yeah, sure, why not? And Taylor's like, no, I'm not doing it. However, they had.
She's like, oh, he smells so bad. She's like forced to kiss him, and he's got like the worst breath probably. Right. And she's just like,
find me some videos of them snuggling, right, and getting all, this is us, just waking up in the morning. Oh no.
It's like trying to find yourself a picture of Ben Affleck looking happy with J-Lo.
There you go.
Just can't find it.
Exactly.
Ooh, that was rough. Yeah. The one where he slams the door when she gets in is just so classic.
And the fall,
but Taylor and Travis, I don't know. Maybe it was hot and heavy. But hey, I feel like the people that are into this and into her, they're like, oh no, she missed a game. Is there trouble in paradise?
Of course.
And then they can play off of that for a couple
weeks.
Oh,
no, you bet they can.
They break up, and her new album drops. Everyone, they broke up. He was an asshole. Everyone, I tried to tell you.
And the girls will be trying to figure out what each song means, and little secret stories.
DJ should be working at TMZ because the TMZ headline, and here it is, this is coming, Travis Kelce, sad sack on the sidelines during Taylorless game. Oh,
look at him sad.
He's sitting there on the bench. He's not happy. Why? Well, obviously because Taylor's not there. That's the only reason he's sad.
This is how I know it's fake. He would be happy.
Or he would just be focusing on the game, which any player would be,
right?
Because it's their job.
No, she's giving him the silent treatment, and he's acting like, "Oh, you think I don't like it?"
Yeah, it's absolutely silly. Okay, two more. Those two were I consider clown worlds. There's two more. This one's kind of interesting. This is from the BBC. This is, again, stories that the general public will just miss, which is Marlboro owner sells UK inhaler firm over backlash. Okay, so as you guys know, when you're a big company, whether it be pharmaceuticals or to big tobacco or whatever, you will buy up the competition. And in some cases, you'll buy the other side. Which is, in this case, a Marlboro tobacco giant that makes Marlboro cigarettes has sold the UK inhaler company for a knockdown price due to what it calls unwarranted backlash. Really unwarranted.
Well, what do you mean by inhaler company?
That's what I'm getting to. So Philip Morris, who owns Marlboro, has offloaded Vectura Group for $150 million, right? Well, the 200 million American, 150 British, just 3 years after buying it for more than $1 billion. Right, so it's like, wow, I took kind of a hit on that. So their decision to buy Vectura, which makes inhalers to treat lung conditions such as asthma, was criticized as being hypocritical. You think? Yes. So what was happening here was
they get them on either end.
Yeah, you bought both sides, and you think the public wasn't going to notice. It's like, wait a minute. So you're both creating the problem and paying for the cure. You're making
Cha-cha-ching.
Yeah, you're making money off both sides here. That's not going to play, guys. And so they couldn't keep that up. But in fact, again, that they tried. They tried to do it, and so
way to go, guys.
Philip Morris defended the move as part of its strategy to
make money.
To get away from cigarettes and towards smoke-free businesses like vaping. If you guys didn't know, watch the wonderful documentary Big Vape, where the cigarette company. My favorite story, again, if you want to look it up, again, I was never into the Juul. DJ, did you ever know anyone that had Juuls? Juul vaping?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Juul vaping, a huge thing. I should probably. Well, I'm not going to play it on this show.
Yes.
Where's my Juul? Look that song up on YouTube. 20 million hits. It's ridiculous. An amateur video where they offered. Vaping. The vaping company. They initially said, "Oh, we want to get away from cigarettes. Vaping's a healthier option." And the big tobacco kept coming at them every 6 months with bigger and bigger offers. So you know what happened in the end? They sold out. And so now all the vaping companies are sold to big tobacco, of course, because if you're going to smoke something, we're going to own it. Okay,
and apparently they're really bad for you on top of it.
Yeah,
just like cigarettes are probably.
Yeah,
really
they're not
bad
good for you. We still won't know for a while what the things are. Okay, this one, oh my God, this one. Okay, this is my ultimate clown world of the week, and you know what this one is, DJ.
Oh, I love this.
Okay, so this is from MSNBC. So Patricia, did you ever watch the Anna Delvey, the fake heiress story?
And there's even a book about it. I know. I didn't watch the story. I read the book.
The movie was called Inventing Anna, starring Julie Garner, I believe. I think Julie won an Emmy for it, and she just crushed it about this a fake heiress.
So good.
So good. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, right, she gets on Dancing with the Stars. It's like, wait a minute, aren't you in prison? Right? How does this happen? Again, this is America, which is...
No, I think she's out of prison.
Yeah, she is. So here's the story. I'm gonna.
Oh, she doesn't have like an ankle bracelet on? That would be hilarious.
So in a bizarre programming move, ABC's Dancing with the Stars has cast fake heiress Anna Delvey of grand larceny and fraud fame as one of the contestants, competing against Olympic gold medalist Steven Nordisik and blah, blah, blah. Whatever. Delvey has the dubious honor of being the only competitor this season who had to obtain permission from the federal government before she was able to travel to Los Angeles to film the show. Her current bond conditions restrict her to travel within 70 miles of her reference. Delvey, her real name is Anna Sorkin, again, watch Inventing Anna, was convicted by a jury in 2019 on 8 counts of theft, 1 count of attempted grand larceny, 3 counts of grand larceny, 4 counts of theft services. She was acquitted of 2 counts, including attempting to steal more than $1 million from a bank. Nicknamed the fake heiress, she ripped off all these people, and then she did 4 years. She was sentenced to 4 to 12 years in prison. She did 4 years in Rikers, right? Paid up $200. But again, this is America for you, which I love so much. If there's money to be made here, we're capitalizing on it. So you know what? She was supposed to go straight from Rikers to Germany, to be deported to Germany forever, never to come back in the States. Oh, no. We bent the rules for her because we're getting her. She's going to LA. She's going to be on Dancing with the Stars. God, I love this country sometimes.
Well, I read the book, My Friend Anna. It's the true story of the fake heiress who conned me in half of New York City, and it's by Rachel Deloche. It was a pretty good read, but in reading this book, I found out that Anna Delvey herself has a podcast that she does, and I've not listened to it. It's called The Anna Delvey Show. She's done 10 episodes, and so she's been doing all sorts of stuff on the side.
Yeah.
While she's been under home arrest.
She learned, again, she's young enough, she figured it out, which was when you're in prison, again, it's not like they're going to stop soliciting you. Agents, I'm sure, were contacting her in prison. It's like, look, when you get out, because you're going to do a minimum of 4 years, when you get out, we got all sorts of stuff lined up for you. It's going to be awesome. And all you have to do is say you're going to fight the legal case, therefore you don't get deported immediately, and then we'll just come up with exemption after exemption and delay it so you can maximize your stuff in the States until we can establish your brand.
She'll have enough money in the end to actually
be a millionaire.
Like she was a real heiress.
Yeah, she's going to be rich off this, of course. It's just like the other one who, had her mom offed. What's her name? Gypsy Rose.
There you go.
It's the same thing where the society is kind of glorifying these kind of criminals that are becoming mainstream characters.
That's what our society loves, actually.
Well,
Bonnie and Clyde never, that whole theme never died, which was Bonnie and Clyde were bank robbers that gunned down people, as they traveled across the country, and they couldn't have been bigger heroes in a lot of cases. People, they were celebrities wherever they went. Well, as long as the law wasn't there. So,
well, the Inventing Anna was actually a very well done, fun.
Well done.
Was it on Netflix series? Well done. And the girls, some of the lines do live rent free in my head. Like, what are you wearing? You look poor. It's like she was a character. This woman, I don't know. She was obviously diabolically smart, but used it for all the wrong reasons. But somehow it's kind of an interesting just insight into what that high society life is willing to do based off just how you conduct yourself. Yeah. I mean, that was really the most telling. Yeah. And the girl that plays the part is just
Julie Garner is was one of, she's from the Ozarks, with the Jason Bateman project, and she played a hillbilly girl that was connected to all the drug dealers, and she was brilliant in that. Yeah. And when she did this, I didn't even know who it was for a while, and it's like, oh my God, she's crushing it. In fact, she's playing a better Anna than Anna. She was better, and again, that's what launched her, which was, oh my God, if this show did well, your brand's already established. All we have to do is get you out of jail, and you did. Well done.
My friends loved Inventing Anna. The quoting was very much a hot moment over once that came out.
I bet.
So funny.
Yeah, it was wonderful. So yeah, good for you. But again, you want to know why I love America? It's this sort of madness.
It's mad.
Only we would do this. Again, and I'm sure. Again, this isn't an isolated thing. I'm sure there were agents fighting over her. Which again, we will see where this goes. Yeah. I can't. We'll see if she gets deported next year. Go ahead.
Oh my God, did you see Chimp Crazy? That's the hot one right now. That's like what everyone's talking about with this girl named Tanya and Tonka, the famous chimp from the 80s and 90s, and how these owners, it's made from the same people that did the Tiger King.
Oh no.
They have one that just released on HBO called Chimp Crazy, and guys, it's wild. So, hey, it's pretty, chimps are just so interesting, and that's getting back to take our evolution conversation full circle. Chimps are still chimps after what? If you're a glober, 80, 90 million, 100 million years.
There you go.
They haven't changed. They haven't even, but Joe Rogan likes to say, oh no, chimps are entering the Stone Age. It's like, no, they're not.
No, they're not.
They're just smart creatures. They can pick up and use tools. Humans are unique. That's what everyone needs to get.
Right.
Joe Rogan, all the people, humans are unique. We can get into that later, but that's what I want the takeaway to be.
There you go. The missing link is called that for a reason. It's missing, and it should be there. It's it's like if there's monkeys and they became humans, then why are there still monkeys?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Thank you, Scientism, which is also
bringing that back full circle.
Yeah. Bring it back. This is all about Scientism. Hey, check out Mark's thing, but also Robbie Davidson does a good Scientism 1 and 2 on his Celebrate Truth, and that was also kind of in the beginning of my Flat Earth journey was coming across that.
Shout out to Robbie Davidson.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody in our live chat. Shout out to Zulu One. And
with that, we will be back next week. Same flat time, same.
We've got the secret show tomorrow, Mark.
But before I say that, Patricia is going to talk.
It's a secret if we all know about it. Don't you guys record that in private and then just post it?
Yeah, well,
we're going live.
You think so? Okay, so go ahead, Patricia.
It's 5 p.m. Eastern.
5:30.
5:30 p.m.
No, it's 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific.
Okay, 6:30 p.m. Eastern.
Yes.
Tomorrow. On my channel, Patricia Steere. If you don't know where to find it, in the comments of this video, Mark will put all the links.
You haven't put up you can. I didn't buzz me tomorrow, and we'll put up.
Because I don't know how to use much of the equipment.
No. That's just through YouTube. I'll show you how to set up. It's 2 seconds. So you have to schedule something so at least people know the reminder.
Right. I'll work on that.
All right.
It's not like the old days when I used to do videos when we had Google Hangouts.
Good point.
Right.
All right. So, secret show tomorrow. Patricia and I, 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 my time. That's 33 my time, by the way. I know, right?
33.
33. Which will be 2 hours and 10 minutes after Zulu's weekly 420 show. You want to make sure. So, Zulu will preface us. That way, Zulu's got some time to do stuff. All right.
Cool.
I'm excited. It's like the Fox Flat Earth Mulder Scully.
Yeah, I'm excited too. It should be a lot of fun.
Scully.
And it's going to be raining here tomorrow, so I'm really looking forward to it because I like doing stuff in the rain. Okay.
But you'll be inside, right?
That's what I mean. Because that's I don't want to go outside in the rain, even though I'm from Washington.
Got it.
Okay, so next week, same flat time, same flat channel. Say goodnight, Patricia.
Good night.
Say goodnight, DJ.
Good night, strange world. Stay curious.
All right. And with that, we're going to run. It's going to be a little different. I'm going to run a slideshow where the thing is, where the Firefox thing is, hopefully. And yeah, let's do it. Good night, everybody. Hot sex. Now you let your hair down?
Ooh la la, ooh la la. So gorgeous. He really is. I hope I'm not annoying her because I'm constantly just enamored. Oh my god, they can still hear us.
They can hear you?
Okay, they said they just heard how much I love the Patricia off air. What's up, chat? That was fun.
Alex Lowry does this song, which is fine.
Yeah, Lowry's the man. Oh my god, so fun. I had them play this on the Tinfoil Sombrero that I was on. This is the opening song rather than the closing. So shout out to Rico and shout out to Lowry and them. Check out the sombrero if you haven't seen it, guys. Tinfoil Sombrero.
Somebody named G-Dog just told me to go to bed goofy. Okay.
What?
In the live chat. Okay, G-Dog. We'll get right on that.
Oh, your hair does look so pretty though.
They say that Mars is close as it's ever been. Wound up chasing stars all over again. There's words for what you got, what you have, and what you'll ever need. There's love so many nights, so many nights. So many ways to believe.
Paige needs to get into her PJs with her cup of cocoa and her 6 marshmallows. Night, Mark.
Mike Jack. Jack.
You realize it's the same link every week. It never
That's a good year to
changes.
do it. Yeah, I know. I should paste it somewhere, I think.